BBC News at 4 o'clock. This is Matthew Carter. The UK and 7 other European countries threatened with tariffs by Donald Trump because of their defiance of his plans to take Greenland from Denmark have issued a statement. They say the move would risk a dangerous downward spiral. The French President Emmanuel Macron has suggested the EU prepares retaliatory measures. John Bolton was a national security advisor during President Trump's first term, though the two have since fallen out.
He is so limited in his thinking that he's gotten this obsession with taking control of Greenland and doesn't care about the ramifications of what he does or says on anything else. If Trump continues down this line, I really believe that dissent within the Republican Party in Congress, which has been muted for the first year, to be polite about it, will not be muted anymore.
A man has been arrested on suspicion of murder after a woman was found injured in a street in Norfolk. Police were called to the road near Norwich late last night, where they found a woman in her 40s. She was declared dead at the scene. A man in his 60s has been arrested. Firefighters in Pakistan are still trying to extinguish a massive fire that broke out overnight in one of Karachi's most popular shopping centres. At least 6 people are confirmed dead, including 1 firefighter. 34 people have been reported missing by their families. Caroline Davis is in the capital, Islamabad.
There's regular concerns brought up about fire issues in a lot of these buildings, particularly by the sort of fire agencies that operate. There are 30 fire stations in the city of Karachi for a population of around 20 million. There have previously been criticisms about the need to be able to modernise the fire services as well. We don't know what is behind this particular incident, but of course there will be questions after this.
Police are investigating after racist graffiti was sprayed on Edinburgh's Central Mosque. The building is thought to have been targeted with hate messages on Friday night. A spokesperson for the mosque said they were deeply saddened and concerned by the incident. Work is underway to restore water supplies to homes in the Maidstone area of Kent because of an electrical fault at a treatment works. 4,500 properties were affected earlier. It's the latest problem to affect South East Water customers after days of disruption earlier this week. Thousands of bags of uncooked chips have washed up on a beach near Eastbourne in Sussex. Food items have been coming ashore after 16 containers fell from a cargo vessel off the Isle of Wight last month. Adam Gocher reports.
Chips at the seaside are a time-honoured tradition. That is, eating them or maybe losing some to a seagull, not wading through thousands of them, at times more than 2 feet deep. One man described the beach as looking like the Caribbean golden sands. And while it was a sight to see, locals say the plastic bags the chips come in pose a danger to a nearby seal colony. So volunteers have headed down to the beach to help clear up. The bad news for them, their chips might be a bit too salty.
And that's the BBC News. It's 3 minutes past 4.
Total Sport.
Live Premier League football.
BBC Radio Merseyside.
Dwight McNeil with a shot. Oh, it's a fantastic curling left foot shot from Dwight McNeil.
Beto inside the penalty area. Yeah! It's 2-0. 5 minutes gone.
Driven shot. Oh my goodness! James Tarkowski with an absolute rocket shot.
Carlos Alcaraz chips it towards Idrissa Gana Gueye. Run again! And it's there! Jake O'Brien!
BBC Radio Merseyside.
I'm Ian Kennedy. Welcome to Total Sport this Sunday afternoon. Thanks to Gabby for the last 2 hours. But it's an afternoon that Everton go in search of their first win of 2026, the 4th time of asking. The Blues look to get back to winning ways in the Midlands as they face third-placed Aston Villa. We'll have full exclusive local radio commentary on the game from 4:30 on 95.8 FM, DAB and Freeview Channel 714 and BBC Sounds. At Villa Park for us this afternoon, our Everton correspondent for The Athletic, Paddy Boyland, and Mike Hughes.
Everton's recent league record against Aston Villa isn't good. In fact, they've failed to win any of the 13 league matches they've played in the Premier League since Villa were promoted back in 2019. It's still a threadbare squad as well for the Blues, with AFCON injuries and suspensions still taking a heavy toll. Villa have won their last 11 games here at home and could cut Arsenal's lead at the top of the table to 4 points. Team news-wise, Jack Grealish and Chiano Barry return to the side in place of Tyler Dibling and Beto, respectively. Everton line up with Jordan Pickford in goal, a back four from right to left of Patterson, Tarkowski, the captain, O'Brien and Mikalenko. Then it's James Garner and Merlin Roll in the deeper line midfield positions. McNeil on the right, Grealish on the left, Harrison Armstrong is at 10. Cherno Barry leads the line for the Blues. And on the subs bench, only 8 subs for the Blues, by the way, and 2 goalkeepers, Mark Travers and Tom King. Beto, Tyler Dibbling, Seamus Coleman, good to see him back in the picture. Adam Asdu made a big impression off the bench against Sunderland last weekend. Reece Walsh and Eli Campbell. In the Premier League, by the way, only Arsenal have a better away record than Everton in terms of goals conceded. A clean sheet today would be a really good return for the Blues. Aston Villa going to be a tough nut to crack. Full commentary on this game, Aston Villa versus Everton. Mike Hughes live at Villa Park.
Elsewhere in the top flight today, it finished Wolves 0, Newcastle 0 at Molineux. And in the women's FA Cup 4th round, it ended London Bees 0, Liverpool 6. Our other commentary of the day is in Rugby League. It's the opening weekend of the Championship. Half-time at the Cherry Records Stadium, and it's currently London Broncos 16, Widnes Vikings 12. You can hear commentary on that game via the Rugby League pages on the BBC Sport website with John Lawless and James Gordon. We're on till 7 o'clock this evening, so you can get your calls in after the game. Between now and kick-off, we'll hear from David Moyes and Everton fan Natalie Bargery and Villa boss Unai Emery. But first, the Blues go into the game having failed to beat today's opponents in their last 13 Premier League games. The last time they took 3 points off the Midlanders was back on March the 1st, 2016, when they came away from Villa Park with a 3-1 win.
Left-hand side, corner then for Everton at the Holt end. Funes Mori and Jagielka both forward. In it goes towards the near post. Header is there from Funes Mori! And Everton have the lead they wanted with less than 5 minutes gone. And terrible defending from Aston Villa. It was a free header. Agbonlahor. Jordan Ayew, may have been a hand there, but Everton bring it away with Jagielka, and they can break here. Here's Barkley. Morales will make the run forward. Morales now left-hand side of the penalty area. Ball played across. Lennon 2-0. After all that Villa pressure, Everton have hit them on the break. Morales to Aaron Lennon. Simple as that. Goalkeeper no chance. Corner for Everton, leading by 2-0. In it goes. Guzan will punch the ball away. Comes to Lennon on the edge of the box. Support from Funes Mori now. He's inside the box and across it goes, and it's 3-0. Romelu Lukaku. Well denied just seconds earlier from Brad Guzan, but there was no doubt that time. Celebrates in front of the jubilant Everton supporters, and this game now surely is beyond Aston Villa. It's Villa 0, Everton 3, and goal number 22 for Romelu Lukaku. For 2 with the cross, high towards Gusted with the header, and he scored! Rudy Gusted pulls one back, and Villa have got a goal. So the clean sheet's out of the window. Everton still with a 2-goal advantage, but that's just lifted the dark mood at Villa Park. It's 3-1.
You're coming into a game that is a very tricky game because everyone expects to be an easy encounter because you're playing a team at the bottom of the table, and we expected a really sharp and intense start from Aston Villa. We had that, but I couldn't be happier with the way that we adapted to it, the way that we started the game, the way we were clinical in front of goal, and from that point on I thought we showed a real good maturity to show away from home to be able to win the football game.
Total Sport.
Shoulder to shoulder with the fans.
BBC Radio Merseyside.
Well, let's get over to Villa Park. Anyone watching the Wolves Newcastle game will have seen the rain pouring down. It's not too far to Villa Park from there. So what are conditions like, Mike?
But you know what, Ian? So far, so good. There has been a little bit of rain. It's been on and off, but nowhere near as bad as it has been up at Molineux. So I hope that their weather isn't coming in our direction anytime soon, because it certainly was a bit grim. And our position, Paddy and I, are right at the front of the press box. And you know as well as I do what it's like at Villa Park when it rains, and it rains heavily, because you're right at the front and you've got the canopy of the roof extended over you, but because the roof is so high, the rain actually falls in, a bit like at Newcastle as well. So fingers crossed. I know you're praying for us, Ian.
Absolutely, yeah. Hope you got the layers on. In terms of the team news, Mike, I suppose the spotlight will be on Jack Grealish going back to his former club, his boyhood club.
Yeah, and Everton miss him when he doesn't play, and they certainly did against Sunderland. Interesting to read some of the comments that the manager has made since he spoke to BBC Radio Merseyside and the media on Friday, and he was asked, Jack Grealish hasn't really been up to it, the last month or so, and he made the point, the manager said, yeah, well, he hasn't, but players' form does fluctuate, and of course, I think with Grealish being the only player that Everton have had in those creative positions, certainly with no Keenan Dewsbury Hall because of injury and Iliman Ajayi because of AFCON, the onus has been very much on him. Of course, he wasn't available against Sunderland. I think more is expected of Jack Grealish because he's that good. I'll actually bring Paddy Boyland in, if I may. I'll summarise this afternoon. Everton correspondent from the Athletic. I mean, Grealish, he's a class player still, isn't he? But when his standards dip, it's kind of noticeable.
It is, and he started really well. I think it was four goal assists in his first month at Everton. It's a really statement start. But I think what we've wanted to see from him, certainly in recent months, more goals, more assists. Like you mentioned, Everton are missing some real quality at the moment in the form of Iliman Ajayi and Keenan Dewsbury Hall. There's an onus then on Jack Grealish to step up and be the main man, and it hasn't quite worked for him in recent months. I wonder if he's just got to the point where he's played so much football that he's almost needed a bit of a rest and a bit of a reset before then kicking on.
Those amount of games for City in the last 2-3 seasons.
That's it. He's already played more for Everton than he did in those last 2 seasons combined, so I don't think it's a surprise that his levels have dropped a little bit. Ideally, you would have wanted to rotate him maybe around the third round of the FA Cup. Everton haven't really been in a position to rotate anybody recently. They're missing 8 today, eight players and key players among them, so I don't think it's a big surprise that his levels have dropped, but Everton need him back to his best very, very soon.
Yeah, but it would be great to see him back to his best today, Ian, and the manager also made the point that he apologised to the players after that sending off for 2 yellow cards in the game against Wolves. So Jack Grealish back to anywhere near his best, massive plus for Everton today, as you say, against his boyhood club.
Yeah, and just run through that Everton side if you would, Mike.
Yeah, Everton line up with Jordan Pickford in goal, then it's Nathan Patterson, James Tarkowski, Jake O'Brien and Vitaly Mikolenko, the goalkeeper, and back 4 from right to left. James Garner and Merlin Roll in the deeper lying central midfield positions. And Dwight McNeil, Harrison Armstrong, Jack Grealish and Chiano Barry. On the bench, Mark Travers, Tom King, Beto, Tyler Dibbling, Seamus Coleman, Adam Asnu, Reece Welsh and Eli Campbell. Aston Villa, Emi Martinez in goal. He returns after injury. From right to left, their back 4, Matty Cash, Ezri Konsa, Pau Torres and Ian Martson, who's preferred to Luca Digne, formerly of Everton. Yuri Tielemans drops back to play in a deeper midfield position alongside Lamar Bogard. Then it's John McGinn, Morgan Rogers, Emi Buendia and Ollie Watkins. And on the bench for Aston Villa, they have 2 sub goalkeepers in Marco Pizzo and James Wright. Then it's Victor Lindelof, Tyrone Mings, Luca Digne, Andres Garcia, Yamaldeen Yimo Aloha, Evan Gesson and George Hemmings. The referee is Mr. Tony Harrington, and a special day for Morgan Rogers. It's his 100th appearance for Aston Villa. What a footballer he is, by the way. Hopefully a quiet afternoon for him.
Indeed. Mike, thank you. Back to Villa Park shortly. David Moyes has already admitted it'll be unlikely the business will be done by Everton this January, but it doesn't mean it's completely off the cards. So is there anything to report?
The reality hasn't changed. We've said all along. I said, we're looking, we're trying. It's not as if we're not shut ourselves off from the transfer window. We need players more than ever, and we probably need them as soon as possible if we could make that happen. But more than likely, this month is never done particularly quickly. So we're still looking. I'm not sure we won't get anything, but we're trying.
You are looking, as you say, but it is a difficult window to operate in. How does the leadership structure work in the transfer window here in Everton? Who has the final say, and how's it operating?
Well, I've got the final say if we want to buy a player or if we don't want to buy a player. But obviously I get told by my superiors how much we've got to spend and what we've got available, and I have to sort of work off those thoughts. So I think Angus came out in the programme a few weeks ago and probably gave you all a pretty good answer coming from the CEO. So I think we're in there trying, but it doesn't mean that we're just going to take any player just for the sake of it.
And if there are any developments transfer-wise, of course, we'll keep you updated here on BBC Radio Merseyside. Back to Villa Park shortly. Some travel news for you. The M62 eastbound blocked. Long delays due to a vehicle fire on at Junction 9, the A49 Newton Road, Winwick. Congestion to Junction 8, that's Warrington West and Burton Wood. Traffic easing, this is Neston Road, both direction Williston. There was an earlier accident on the B5133 Neston Road in both directions from Quarry Road to Lydiate Lane. And traffic also easing on the A556 Chester Road eastbound, that's at the A49 Tarpley Road.
Tony Snell.
Dave Bond has looked after the Winslow Hotel facing Goodison Park for years. That chapter, sadly, is coming to a close soon, but he told me a wonderful story about how he became a Blue.
Back in 1976, I didn't have a football team. I come from a small town, everyone else had Man U, Liverpool, and my mum was doing a clear out in the attic, and there was an old radio up there from the 1950s, because I saw on the actual display BBC Radio Merseyside. There's 101 channels, Versum, all these wacky stations. It was a massive radio, and I could pick it up ever so faintly, and that was it. I was hooked on Everton then, and that was where the love affair with Everton started.
Weekday mornings from 10. BBC Radio Merseyside. Total Sport.
Live Premier League football.
BBC Radio Merseyside.
To the subject of Beto now, and the striker was given a chance to show what he can do against Sunderland last weekend. He was one of 3 players to miss his spot kick in the penalty shootout. Everton fan Natalie Bargery says his performance was the final straw.
I think it was probably the final nail in Beto's coffin, though, in all honesty. I think he's had a lot of support from the crowd, actually, over his time at Everton. He's been given maybe a free pass to an extent at times, and I think patience may have run out at that point. I think we saw in the second half of last season, we saw Beto at his best, and that led Moyes and the recruitment team, I think, in the summer to decide to go with the development signing and Barry, give Beto the number 9 shirt and put some faith in him. And unfortunately, he's really not repaid that faith this season. And I say that as someone who was always a fan of Beto and has given him a free pass a lot, because I like him and I like his attitude. But we've seen a very good second half against Crystal Palace when him and Alcaraz turned the game around. I think he did okay when he came on against Brentford. And that's about it, really. And even after
2 goals this season, isn't it?
2 goals, this is it, yeah. And actually with Beto, earlier in the season had some seriously good chances, particularly thinking of sort of City away and some other games where it was on a plate for him at times.
Yeah, I feel like there's a few, and I think this happened away at Burnley where he's sliding in. I think it was away at City as well, almost the same chance where he's sliding in and somehow the ball has missed his leg and gone through the other side.
Yeah, he can't seem to time those at all. And on Saturday, the amount of time, talking of timing, the amount of time the ball floated over his head where he just mistimed his jump was incredible, really. And after a decent substitute appearance against Brentford, he got a goal, looked quite confident. His consistency is never there. You can never trust that in the next game he's going to follow it up with that level of performance again.
That's Natalie Bargery talking about Beto and the striking situation. Just to tell you as well, Widnes Vikings, not a good start to the second half. They trail at London Broncos by 28 points to 12 in the Rugby League Championship. Commentary online via the BBC Rugby League pages on that one. Let's go back to Villa Park on the subject of strikers, to Mike and Paddy, and it is an obvious issue for David Moyes. I wonder whether there's anything he can do about it in the transfer market. I mean, Beto's on the bench today, Mike, and Barry gets another chance.
Yeah, it's kind of like what I expected, and before the programme started at 4 o'clock, Paddy and I were discussing precisely that topic. What does David Moyes do with Everton strikers? Because there are similarities between the two of them, and the similarities aren't great, that there's a lack of goals from both. I think the fact that Tierno Barry hasn't been at Everton for anywhere near as long as Beto has, and there have been on occasions I've seen Tierno Barry and you think, well, listen, you know, there's something to work with there. If you look back to the opening game of the season for Everton against Brighton, involved in both of the goals. If you look back to that game at Sunderland where he missed an absolutely golden opportunity to make it 2-0. But he played a big part in Everton's goal in winning the ball that Iliman Ndiaye ended up sort of finishing off in splendid fashion. So I think there are indications that there's something to work with as far as Tierno Barry is concerned. I'm not too sure exactly how much of that will come to fruition. But Paddy, we were discussing it, and Everton's shortage of goals with Beto and Barry, it's reached chronic proportions now, hasn't it?
Well, it has massively, and until a few weeks ago, Everton had one of the fewest goals for columns in the league, and I think that's an indictment on the strikers. They weren't finishing the chances, they'd missed loads of opportunities in front of goal. But I also think it says something about the rest of the team and the lack of creativity in the ranks, particularly when those key men like Dewsbury Hall and Ndiaye are out. I think there's a problem, quite a substantial problem actually, at fullback, and I think if they sorted the fullback positions out, it would almost unlock something higher up the pitch. So yes, they've been linked with strikers recently, they've been linked with Callum Wilson, they've been linked with Youssouf El-Nesri from Fenerbahce.
Do you see anything happening there?
I think there is interest in both of those players. I'm not entirely sure at the moment that Everton are Youssouf El-Nesri's number one choice. He's got offers from Saudi, from the continent, and even from England. He's been offered to all comers, as I understand it, and there is significant interest in him from Everton and elsewhere. Callum Wilson's a slightly different situation, but he scored the other day for West Ham and is still, as we speak, a West Ham player trying to get out of his contract. So both of those situations look tough for different reasons, and I don't think it's as simple as Everton can go and buy a new striker or loan a new striker and everything is solved overnight. They need to work on the rest of the team too, and it will take time to work on the rest of the team as well.
Okay, Ian, yep, the pyrotechnics are picking up a pace. The big show pre-kickoff is about to start, and you've got full commentary on the game once it kicks off. Aston Villa versus Everton, of course, on Total Sport Merseyside.
Thanks, Mike. Back there shortly. Let's get a quick word from Aston Villa boss Unai Emery, who was asked what he's made of Everton this season.
Yes, they are performing away very well, and they are competing fantastic. They have some circumstances like two players they have involving in Africa Cup, Ndiaye and Way. Some player maybe they can be out to be injured or suspended, but I think they are competing fantastic, and they are team always difficult, and we respect them with the circumstances they have, because we have our circumstances with some players. And Everton is the next step forward. We must focus and to respect them, analyse them, and deeply prepare the match to beat them.
That's Unai Emery. A final word before kick-off from David Moyes. We've heard Unai Emery talking about Everton. Certainly David Moyes knows Villa are a big threat.
Look, Aston Villa have done remarkable in recent seasons. I think they've showed great investment. They've got Aston Villa back where they want to be in around the Champions League over the last few years in European football. So I think Villa are now beginning to challenge all the top teams now. Obviously their league position has shown how good they are and how far up the league they are. They've got an excellent manager, so there's a lot of good things Villa are doing.
Keeping on the Villa theme, how difficult is a trip to Villa Park with the way they're playing, and how do you combat their threats?
How to combat their
threats?
Well, we've got threats from every Premier League team. We have to combat every Premier League team we come up against. It's always the same thing. The Villa is a great stadium to go and play at. Aston Villa, I think everybody enjoys going and playing there. We will as well, but they're certainly in good form.
The fact that you are still, I think 3 points it is off the top 6 European positions, with everything that's happened, the 2 boys at AFCON, the suspensions, the injuries, you're still in a great position, aren't you?
No, we started the season really well, and we're still in a really good position. But you know, we want to be higher. You know, maybe 2 points more makes you feel a bit better because you're further up and might be sitting 8th or 9th if you do that possibly. So we've got to try and get back on it again, get back. But it's difficult. You know, we've not got the strongest squad. We've had quite a few injuries. We've had the boys away, so that's made it difficult for us.
Dwight McNeil with a shot. Oh, it's a fantastic curling left foot shot from Dwight McNeil.
Beto inside the penalty area. Yeah! It's 2-0. 5 minutes gone.
Driven shot. Oh my goodness! James Tarkowski with an absolute rocket shot.
Carlos Alcaraz chips it towards Idrissa Gana Gueye. Run again! And it's there! Jake O'Brien!
BBC Radio Merseyside.
Don't forget you can get commentary on the closing stages of London Broncos against Widnes Vikings via the BBC Rugby League website. I'm afraid Widnes Vikings trailing 32-12 at the moment in that one. But we've got full commentary now from Villa Park. It's Aston Villa against Everton. Let's join our commentary team of Paddy Boylan from The Athletic and our own Mike Hughes.
Thank you, Ian. The players are just about ready to come out. Villa Park, one of the great authentic stadiums in this country. Goes back an awful long way, and it's been updated and it's been smartened up, and it's certainly got all the bells and whistles that new stadiums need these days, but it still has a feel of a proper football stadium. And out come the two teams. John McGinn leads Villa out. James Tarkowski leads the Everton team out in front of us. And all the rockets are going off. Plenty of them. And the pyrotechnics, well, they've really gone to town on it here at Villa Park. Cracking pre-match atmosphere. Everton up against it in terms of fit and available players. Aston Villa right on it at the moment in terms of the football they're playing, the results that they're getting. They've won the last 11 here at Villa Park, and they can cut Arsenal's lead at the top of the table to 4 points if they're victorious. But Everton's away form under David Moyes has been really good. 9 wins in 19 away matches under David Moyes' second time round. And when you consider where Everton were when he took over, that is some going. Everton line up with Jordan Pickford in goal, Nathan Patterson, James Tarkowski, Jake O'Brien and Vitaly Mykolenko. Then it's James Garner and Merlin Roll in the holding midfield positions. Dwight McNeil, Harrison Armstrong, Jack Grealish and Tierno Barry. The subs, Travis and King, the goalkeepers, Beto, Dibbling, Coleman, Asnu, Welsh and Campbell. Aston Villa, Emi Martinez back after injury. Back four for them from right to left. Cash, Konza, Torres and Markson. Tielemans and Bogard in the holding midfield positions. McGinn, Rogers and Buendia. Ollie Watkins leads the line for Aston Villa, and their subs, they've got 2 goalkeeping subs. Everton only have 8 substitutes again, by the way. Villa, Marco Pinzo and James Wright, the goalkeeping subs. Victor Lindelof, Tyrone Mings, Luca Dean, formerly of Everton, of course. Andres Garcia, Yamoudine, Jimmer, Aloba, Evan Gesson and George Hemmings. Referee is Tony Harrington. Alongside me is Paddy Boylan, the Everton correspondent from The Athletic, and it will be a tall order anyway, given how well Aston Villa are playing, but given Everton's shortage of fit and available first team personnel, makes it an even tougher task.
Yeah, and Villa bang off for this, as you would expect. They can go second today with a win, and we'll realise that that's a huge incentive against a depleted Everton. Everton not only missing 8 players, but I'd argue probably of that group, 5 or 6 of the very most important players, stripping out a lot of quality, particularly in midfield. So yeah, you're right, it feels like a tall order here. A little bit buoyed by the fact that the away record is what it is. Everton maybe suit being less of the protagonist in games and allowing opposition to come onto them. But let's see how this one goes. Villa are a quality team.
Yeah, the Everton fans are down here in big numbers, as they always are. Fabulous away support, Everton.
Brilliant. I mean, we're right in front of the dugout as David Moyes and the players walk out. Moyes waving to the away fans. It's packed out again. Even in bad times, when things aren't going so well, the away support turn out in their droves, so a huge credit to them.
Good, aren't they?
Yeah, absolutely. Some of the best away support in the country, I'd argue. Just hope they've got something to shout about today, Mike.
Everton in their away strip, cream shirts, black shorts, black and cream tops, and their socks. Everton going to kick off. It's going to be James Garner, the first play of the day. Referee Tony Harrington blows his whistle. Garner turns it back to Everton and England number 1 Jordan Pickford. Launches it long downfield towards the edge of the Villa penalty area. Tierno Barry helps it on. Merlin Roll inside the penalty. Shoots. Oh gosh. Well, didn't get hold of it in the way that he wanted, but that was a real opportunity for Merlin Roll. It just fell to him. Deflected into his path off Tierno Barry. Edge of the penalty area, Roll with the effort, and it came back off the post and into the arms of Emi Martinez. Everton almost a goal in front inside 30 seconds.
Incredible start there. Tierno Barry did so well to bring that down, caused trouble for the Villa defenders. Roll picks up, and it was a good first time effort. Slightly unlucky, it comes back off the post, and that would have been the perfect start for Everton in the circumstances, just quietening down what is quite a raucous crowd at the moment.
Just didn't get possibly enough power. That's maybe been a bit too harsh on him. It came back off the woodwork, and Everton, what a start that would have been. Clearance from Pickford finds touch. Throw into Villa. Maatsen to take. Throws it back. And Everton with it back with Merlin Roll. Forward ball there to Tierno Barry. Crossfield out to the left to Jack Grealish. Booed comedically by the Villa fans against his former club. Out towards Mykolenko. Crossing towards the edge of the 6-yard box. Taken at a stretch there by Emi Martinez. All in orange, the Villa keeper today. Away to our right-hand side.
That's where we've got to see more from Vitaly Mykolenko. He goes on the overlap, makes like a really good progressive forward run, but his delivery has got to be better in those positions. I think that's been one of the big problems, going back to what we were discussing earlier in the show. Everton's inability from fullback to create. Grealish sets it up, but Mykolenko can't deliver. Everton need him to do better in those situations, really.
Paddy Boyland from The Athletic, alongside me, Mike Hughes, providing you with full commentary. The only radio station anywhere in the world to bring you full commentary on every Everton match in all competitions. Villa in possession up towards McGinn. Infield it comes. Lamar Bogard turns it back to Pau Torres, out towards the left hand side to Maatsen. Back in for Yuri Tielemans, playing in a deeper midfield position today. Forward ball is headed away by Tarkowski. Took 2 headers, but still Villa managed to win it out towards the left hand side with Maatsen running at Patterson. Patterson does well to get a touch on it. Forward ball is a poor one. They would have been better off putting it out of play. Straight to Tielemans. A couple of yards in from the left touch line, 15 yards short of the halfway line. Villa go back to Torres. Square ball for Ezri Konza. And then it's the right back Matty Cash. Works it across field. Pau Torres just short of halfway. Forward it comes towards Morgan Rogers. Foul there by Dwight McNeil. Wasn't an awful lot in the challenge, but in that position, Morgan Rogers is always going to go down, Paddy Boylan.
Yeah, he's the danger man, I think, for Villa today. He's been in scintillating form, scoring a load of goals from outside the box, kind of curling it into the far corner. Those Villa attacking midfielders are going to be so hard for Everton to pick up. They often don't play as out-and-out wingers. You see where they are now. They're very, very narrow, almost behind
Villa
Everton's
defensive
narrow,
don't they?
the defensive midfield. All the width comes from the fullbacks.
Yeah. And Villa have possession. They've taken the free kick. They've worked it back to Ezri Konza. Smack bang on halfway. John McGinn almost dispossessed by James Garner. Manages to hang on to it. And then they build again the home side. Long ball down the left. Deflected into the path of Emi Buendia inside the penalty. Buendia tees it up over the bar, thankfully, from Morgan Rogers. But Everton caught napping with the thrust and pace of Villa's forward movement, and James Tarkowski having a very large word with Nathan Patterson, Paddy Boylan.
Yeah, seems to be a bit of a miscommunication there between the two as to who was going to go for the ball. Patterson out of position, and Tarkowski stretches and just plays it inadvertently into the path of Buendia. That's a let-off for Everton, given Rodgers' quality. You'd expect him to hit the target
and
there.
I actually thought Buendia was going to shoot. He was in a good position to shoot. Tarkowski's forward ball up towards Cheno Barry, headed down. Villa win the second ball, but Everton have it back in the shape of James Garner. Right-footed ball to the left to Mikalenko. Out to Jack Grealish, back in the team after that one-match suspension, and a fair bit of stick from David Moyes for his silly sending off against Wolves. Everton move it to the other flank to Nathan Patterson, and back in for Tarkowski. Back for Patterson, put under immediate pressure. Long ball down the right for Dwight McNeil to chase. Chested down by Pau Torres on the edge of his penalty area. Shuffles it back to Emi Martinez. Right-footed ball up towards halfway. Everton challenged with Mikalenko and did enough to put John McGinn off, and Everton win it with Jack Grealish. Mikalenko forward to Merlin Roll. Merlin Roll is challenged. Everton appeal for the free kick. Play answers the referee, and they have possession in the shape of Emi Buendia. Lamar Bogard, good challenge on halfway. Villa awarded a free kick for a combination foul by Jack Grealish and James Garner. They work it quickly upfield, and Buendia shuffles it out to the right hand side for Matty Cash, midway inside the Everton half. Back it goes to Lamar Bogard. Inside the centre circle, inside the Everton half is Ezri Konsa, short to Bogard. Bogard in field for John McGinn. John McGinn's challenged there by James Garner again and goes down. Tony Harrington gives another free kick. It's in a very central position. It's 15 yards, maybe slightly more inside the Everton half. Youri Tielemans, I think, is going to leave it for Morgan Rogers, or they have a conversation. The signal from Rogers is pointed out towards the left-hand side. Whether that's indicative of what's going to happen or it's a bluff, but it's going to be taken by Tielemans. Villa have got plenty of players in advanced positions. Everton's defensive line is 5 yards from the edge of their own penalty area. It's worked short in the end to Cash. Then out it goes to the right-hand side. John McGinn helps it on. Villa inside the Everton penalty area. And away there by Mikalenko. In fact, it was Jake O'Brien who got the right-footed clearance in. And he had to do it.
Yeah, really important
good defensive
block.
Work.
Really, really important block. I like Jake O'Brien in the central position. That's what he was bought for primarily, and obviously he spent most of his Everton career so far at right back, and he'll do a job there, but I don't think it gives Everton enough going forward. And that was a really crucial interception because Rodgers had burst into the box and Everton looked in real trouble.
And then Villa got it back into the box. Jake O'Brien with a headed clearance. Everton tried to build after that, and Jack Grealish was fouled, and they win themselves a free kick 7 or 8 yards from the edge of their own penalty area to the left of centre. Jordan Pickford to take. We've had 8 minutes of play. Aston Villa 0, Everton 0. Pickford about to take it, left-footed, good distance on it, out towards the left-hand side. Cheno Barry gets a touch on it. That was a high foot there from Harrison Armstrong, and the referee gives a free kick to Aston Villa. He had every right to go for the ball. That's just where it was, but as it kicked up in those situations, you have to be aware of where your opposing player is, and Matty Cash was coming in with his head. He didn't make any contact, but he could have done. Dangerous play, so the free kick is given and taken. Villa in possession with Lamar Bogard. Out it comes to Cash. Cash goes back to Ezri Konsa, and Konsa for his goalkeeper Emi Martinez. To the left immediately for Pau Torres. up the line for Maatsen. Tielemans in a deep position, always available. And then Emi Buendia guides it back for Ezri Konsa. Tielemans and Konsa work a 1-2. Everton trying to make it difficult, but Emi Buendia inside the centre circle. But a full ball for Ollie Watkins is overhit inside left channel and safely gathered by Jordan Pickford. Paddy Boylan.
Everton just need to be careful. They're following the Villa, particularly the defence, they're following the Villa runners back into midfield. Nathan Patterson's just done that with Emi Buendia and left a load of space in behind. They just need to be careful of not getting dragged out by intelligent movement.
Here's Villa coming forward out towards the right-hand side. And that's sliding clearance by Mikalenko. Puts it out of play for a throw-in to Villa. Taken by Matty Cash. Back it goes to Bogard. Ezri Konsa inside the centre circle, inside the Everton half. Ball's on his right foot. Finds Bogard. Bogard under pressure from Harrison Armstrong. Touches it into the path again of Konsa. Buendia drops deep. Chased by Merlin Roll as he works it out to the right and back in. He receives it again and he's got it again out towards the left hand side. Pulls it into the space for Ollie Watkins inside the box. Everton just about managed to scramble it clear, only as far as Yuri Tielemans, and then Bogard for Cash. Back for Bogard midway inside the Everton half. John McGinn in the central position inside the centre circle, inside the Everton half. Once again Ezri Konsa slides it forward in towards the edge of the penalty area. Dwight McNeil gets an important touch, and then James Garner, but it's given away there, and a driven shot straight, thankfully, at Jordan Pickford from Maatsen after Merlin Roll had given away possession very cheaply, and that was a decent chance for Villa. Everton can't afford to give away possession in those sort of areas.
Yeah, Merlin Roll obviously did it against Sunderland in the FA Cup and was punished with a goal. Very nearly the same thing happening again there. I mean, taking a while to get up to speed in the Premier League. Merlin Roll had a few injuries, but he just needs to be sharper, clearer. You don't get much space. You don't get that much space in the Premier League compared to the Bundesliga. So he's learning lessons on the job, I'd argue, Mark.
11 and a half minutes gone. Total Sport Merseyside live from Villa Park. Aston Villa 0, Everton 0. Everton's throw-in midway inside their own half, slightly further forward in fact than midway. Going to be taken by Vitaly Mikalenko, looking for options down the line. Cheno Barry, and it's thrown in that direction, but Aston Villa win possession. In the end they go back to their goalkeeper, and immediately it's out to the edge of the penalty area, and Ezri Konsa is the start point for most of Villa's moves from back to front. Gets it back from Bogard, advances forward, engaged there by Merlin Roll, try to put him under pressure. Konsa turns Roll sticks to his guns, and slightly overzealous challenge results in a free kick for Aston Villa, 10 yards short of halfway over on that right hand side. Villa take it, go back to the goalkeeper Emi Martinez, one of the top keepers in the business. Long clearance, Jake O'Brien allows it to bounce, then works it back to Pickford. Pickford touches it out towards the left touch line and then hammers it long downfield. Good clearance, but Villa win it back, and Everton, well, that looked like a dangerous challenge there, but Villa allowed to play on. Dwight McNeil as well to win it back in a could have proved to be an awkward situation if he hadn't in central midfield after the ball had broke loose to what appeared to be a dangerous challenge by Aston Villa as the ball just reared up off the greasy surface. Jack Grealish as well to just toe the ball against John McGinn, and it's off McGinn for an Everton throw-in, which is sure as McGinn slightly hurt himself there. Now he seems it's going to be okay. And he's signalling, I think John McGinn has a problem and he's going to go down, and we're going to have a break in play Yeah, that was good work from Dwight McNeil, wasn't it? Because Everton have been in that situation. I think it was Harrison Armstrong as he attempted to win the ball back, and there was a stray Villa foot that nearly caught him.
Yeah, it was very similar to the one that Harrison Armstrong himself was penalised for earlier in the game, so I was struggling to see the difference there. To me, it looked like it should have been an Everton free kick, but play continued, and the rest of the Everton midfield was just caught too high up the pitch. Excellent work from Dwight McNeil, who's playing on the right wing, to track back almost into like the number 6 role in front of the defence and mop up. That's why he's in the team today, I think, over somebody like Tyler Dibbling. I think Moyes will feel that he gets more from Dwight McNeil out of possession than Dibbling's able to offer right now.
And because of the points that you made before, to counteract Villa's very narrow midfield, Everton on occasions will have to go likewise.
Yeah, they will do. They'll have to be really tight, really narrow, and try and saturate the game as much as possible. McNeil's done really well in that position, but what we need to see from him when Everton do win the ball back is some kind of creativity, some service into the box for Tieno Barry.
Because that's been lacking from Dwight McNeil this season.
Yeah, I'm still not sure the right wing's his best role. I think he's very one-footed, very left-footed, and often opponents will know that. They'll have done their homework.
He's only going one way. He's only coming inside.
They will know that he's only going to come inside. That makes him predictable, and he's not quick enough, like say an Arjen Robben was back in the day, to get past the opposition man that way.
Well, play is going to restart. The closest we've come to a goal is Merlin Rowe's right-footed effort, almost straight from the kickoff, when Everton went back to Jordan Pickford from James Garner, long downfield. Good work by Tieno Barry into the path of Merlin Rowe, who took one touch, then right-footed angle shot, didn't really connect with the power that he wanted, but it beat the goalkeeper and came back off the post. Villa are going to have to make a substitution because no further part is going to be played by John McGinn, a player that was linked with a summer move to Everton, of course. David Moyes is a big fan. I think everybody in football is a big fan of John McGinn. Great competitor, a really good footballer at both ends of the pitch. Can pick a pass, can score you a goal. A little bit of everything from John McGinn, but no more from him today. Villa down to 10 men at the moment as he walks around the pitch. I just thought that he'd appeared to have an injury, and then he seemed as though he was going to be okay, and then he just stopped and signalled to the bench, and he's walking around the pitch, and all the Villa fans applauding him as Villa go back to their goalkeeper, Emi Martinez. 16 minutes and 50 seconds gone. Aston Villa 0, Everton 0. Martinez waves the Villa players forward. John McGinn continues his walk around the pitch. Evan Gesson is going to come on. That's a push by Ollie Watkins and James Tarkowski. Gesson, summer signing. He's ostensibly a striker. He has played out wide on the right on occasions. Substitution so it's going to be interesting to see where he plays.
Yeah, well, he's more of an attacking player than John McGinn, so it might need a little bit of a reshuffle for Villa. It is a blow for them, given how important John McGinn is to the side. He's almost a bit of a catalyst for this Villa Park atmosphere at times, crashing into tackles and surging forward with the ball. It's not really clicked yet for Gesson, but he comes on. He's got a point to prove in a more forward area, you would argue.
Free kick. Jordan Pickford launches it long downfield. It's won in the air impressively there by Tieno Barry. And in the end, Villa knock it back to the goalkeeper, and he spills it. Matty Cash attached a bit too much power and possibly not enough direction to his back pass. And it comes off the goalkeeper. And Everton have themselves a corner left-hand side. That was a really good header from Tieno Barry.
He did really well. It was just lacking somebody to be up in support to get on the end of it.
Corner left-hand side that James Garner is going to take. He just lifts his socks up above his knees before he takes 3 strides back, lifts his left arm aloft to signal to his teammates. In it comes, deep towards the far post, headed down. Villa just thump it downfield as it drops into the path of Maatsen inside the penalty area. Patterson chases it and tucks it into the path of Jordan Pickford. Long from him as well, out towards the left-hand side. Grealish challenges for it. Villa managed to get possession, and Emi Buendia, 10 yards short of halfway, thumps it out towards the right-hand side. Villa don't have any players anywhere near that, and it's out for an Everton throw-in that Vitaly Mykolenko prepares to take. Hand on hip, waiting for movement in front of him, and it comes eventually from Cherno Barry. Heads it on there to Jack Grealish. Grealish works it back to Mykolenko, midway inside his own half, left-hand side. Caught in possession there is Harrison Armstrong, but unfairly. The challenge was a foul according to the referee, and Everton move it immediately to the right-hand side. McNeil, Patterson with the cross deep towards the far post. Comfortable catch there from Emi Martinez. Crosses like that are just in the air too long, aren't they?
Just hanging up. Emi Martinez just able to come and claim it under no pressure whatsoever from an Everton player, and that's what we were speaking about earlier, Mike. Both full-backs there sending crosses straight at Martinez. They need to be better and serve Cherno Barry in a better way.
Cherno Barry, a couple of very decent contributions from him so far. 20 minutes gone, 0-0 at Villa Park. Forward ball to Emi Buendia. Everton win it back. Merlin rolls striding forward. Cherno Barry right edge of the penalty area, down towards the byline, gets a cross in, wins a corner, and Everton have been very spirited in their pressing, and on occasions have caused problems for Villa with it.
This has been better from Everton. Villa just seemed to get a foothold after that early Merlin roll chance, but Everton have just quietened the crowd a bit. You'll notice it's much quieter inside Villa Park at the moment. All the noise coming from the Everton end as Everton push for the opener.
And the corner is on the right-hand side, and it's right in front of the Holt end. Corner's going to be taken by Dwight McNeil. He's going to take it left-footed, of course. In it comes, deep towards the far post. Driven in by Jack Grealish. It cannons back off a Villa defender, and in the end Matty Cash smashes it downfield. In fact, it's Torres with the clearance. Everton win it back with Patterson. One in the air there for Dwight McNeil. Pau Torres chasing back, wins the second ball and outwits Dwight McNeil. Then Everton, decent challenge from James Garner to prevent the pass upfield reaching its target. Goes off him for a throw to Villa, that taken by Maatsen, back to Torres, and Konza inside his penalty area looking for options as he tries to work his way past Harrison Armstrong. Short ball for Lamar Bogart, challenged there by Harrison Armstrong, wins it back really well. Cherno Barry couldn't control it inside the penalty as it just broke off him, and Villa managed to win it back, and eventually Konza's forward ball for Emi Buendia gets away there from Merlin Rowe, who challenges and does well to win it back, but the referee has given a yellow card. I think it's actually Dwight McNeil who put the challenge in, just tugging at the shirt initially of Buendia, and McNeil's name goes into the referee's notebook. First yellow card of the afternoon.
Yeah, I don't think he can have any complaints there. It's quite a cynical pull to stop Emi Buendia breaking forward. Everton again stretched in midfield there, pushing so high up the pitch to try and win back possession.
Free kick for Aston Villa. They move it to the left for Maatsen to turn it back to Pau Torres. Eventually it's helped out to Maatsen again, just recovers after a slip, and looked momentarily as though Cherno Barry's going to win it back for Everton. We're past the midway point of the first half, 0-0. Villa in possession up towards halfway. Merlin Rowe attempts to win it, but Villa have it out towards the left. Maatsen, pacey run down the left-hand side, but the cross came in from Maatsen. He's trying to make out it deflected off Nathan Patterson. It didn't. The referee was in a good enough position to spot that, and it's harmlessly behind for a goal kick to Everton. Not in any particular rush to take it. James Tarkowski pretends to take the ball, well, he does actually take the ball from one of the cones, and as if he's going to spot it down, but Pickford had already retrieved the one that we were already using. and prepares to get Everton going again with a long clearance downfield, left-footed. Underneath it, Cherno Barry wins it, and he's after the second ball as well as it drops inside the centre circle. He wins it from Gesson, driving it towards the edge of the box. He's brought down there, is he? No, says the referee. Play on. See, that's what we're talking about with Cherno Barry. He should have passed it to the left, and
Jack Grealish was there. He was open, and he's a 23 years old. Part of the game that he's still learning is when to give the ball, when to take it forward. He goes himself and he loses possession, and that will really frustrate David Moyes.
After we've seen some good things so far from Cherno Barry, Everton in possession. Out to the left they go for Jack Grealish. They've not really found Grealish on enough occasions so far in positions where he'll be able to maximise the ability he has to run at Villa as the rain starts to fall a little heavier at Villa Park. Right-footed ball to the left from James Garner. And Everton have it in a decent area. But eventually work it back to Jake O'Brien. Pickford brought into play. Hurried clearance from Pickford straight to Tarkowski. His clearance is a poor one. Villa have possession. They work it towards the edge of the penalty area on the left. Ollie Watkins back to Maatsen and back with Watkins. Maatsen shuffles it back to Tielemans. Almost in line with the edge of the Everton 18-yard box, but 20 yards further back. And then a right-footed ball to the left for Maatsen again. Links up there with Morgan Rogers. Rogers and Maatsen again, and Tielemans once more, and Everton have got all the cream shirts back behind the ball. Now Villa with Pau Torres and Ezri Konsa. Everybody bar Emi Martinez camped inside the Everton half as they go out towards Gesson. Gesson gets it back from Morgan Rogers and turns it into the path of Matty Cash. Cash and Konsa, Tielemans exchange short passes in and around the centre circle. Forward ball is cut out there by Jake O'Brien. And here come Everton. Merlin Roll driving forward. Good ball to the left for Jack Grealish. Collects it on his right foot in towards the edge of the penalty. Grealish going to have a crack at goal. It's blocked, but it ricochets out towards the left. Harrison Armstrong controls it right-footed. Is challenged by Matty Cash, and it comes off Harrison Armstrong behind for a goal kick to Aston Villa. That was unfortunate on Armstrong, but nice Everton build-up play.
Yeah, better from Merlin Roll, who obviously gave the ball away in front of the defence for that early chance. Strides forward and plays the ball into Grealish. Just unfortunate when Grealish comes inside, has a shot, it's blocked, but I would say that's pretty promising from an Everton perspective that they're surging through midfield like that.
Villa take the goal kick, and eventually Emi Martinez comes out to the left-hand side to Pau Torres. 27 minutes gone, 0-0 at Villa Park. Everton sees possession back. Merlin Roll, and it's Dwight McNeil linking up with Nathan Patterson. Back with Patterson. First time ball back in field for Tarkowski. Wanted to gather in and out towards the left of centre for Jake O'Brien. Mikolenko on the left-hand side. In field for Harrison Armstrong. Back it goes for James Garner. Square pass for Tarkowski. Out to the right for McNeil. 5 yards inside the Villa half. Forward ball for Nathan Patterson. Maatsen gets there first. Gets his body in between man and ball. And eventually Patterson gets a challenge in, but the ball had already gone out of play and behind for a goal kick. It remains 0-0. The thoughts of our summariser this afternoon, Everton correspondent from The Athletic, Paddy Boylan.
Yeah, been a decent enough start for Everton. Obviously missing a lot of key players today, but they've kept themselves in the game, had a big chance of their own, and they've not really surrendered many big opportunities yet for Aston Villa. So you would imagine David Moyes on the touchline, he is quite content with what he's seen so far, Mike.
Martinez works the ball short to Ezri Konsa. Coming to show for possession is Tielemans. Please closed down by Merlin Roll. So back they go to the goalkeeper. The Villa manager is up in his technical area, signalling Everton continue to press and try to prevent Villa from having easy spaces in which to operate. They've done it well so far, and Tarkowski does well to win the ball back. Here's Chenna Barry in towards the edge of the penalty, battling for possession, but he ran into a cul-de-sac there. He had to make a quicker decision than the one he made in terms of if he was going to go to the left or the right. He stayed central, and two Villa players closed in, and the chance was gone.
Looked like he was caught in two minds though, whether to go left, whether to go right. In the end does neither, and it's just crowded out. Again goes back to that decision making piece. He doesn't really make his mind up quickly enough, and in the Premier League you don't get time to pick your spot.
Here come Villa, they move the ball to the right hand side, making progress in towards the edge of the penalty area is Matty Cash. Cash turns as Jake O'Brien forces him back. Konza helps it on there to Morgan Rogers. Good challenge comes in, and Everton get it clear. Villa have it back. Morgan Rogers is up on his feet, not too happy with the challenge, went unpunished. Buendia on the left finds support from Maatsen. Tielemans and Maatsen exchange passes twice. Forward it comes towards Gesson inside the penalty area. Can't get anything on his shot, and it's straight at Jordan Pickford from 15 yards out. Pickford a couple of yards outside his 6-yard box, and it was straight at him, thankfully.
To let off for Everton, and comfortably Villa's best chance of the game. Gesson just drifts behind Vitaly Mykolenko, who reads it too late, and it's a really poor, tame finish from Gesson. He should have done better, and thankfully from an Everton perspective he didn't.
Jack Grealish down the left hand side, thought he'd done enough to win a corner against Lamar Bogard. Referee Tony Harrington, who wasn't best position in all honesty, signalled that it's a goal kick. Unai Emery, arms aloft, applauds the decision. David Moyes, arms folded across his chest with his big manager's coat on. Grey hair blowing in the wind, not as happy as Unai Emery with the decision.
He's not giving much away there, is he, David Moyes? Completely expressionless look on his face.
What a great poker player he'd be, by the way.
Sometimes all the anger is in his eyes, though. I mean, after a game when things haven't gone so well, you can see that he's quietly seething. As journalists, we do know it, yeah.
Long clearance downfield. Goes out of play, so Everton have a throw-in. 31 minutes gone. Aston Villa 0, Everton 0. Reaction to this game post-match, but also in our breakfast show on BBC Radio Merseyside with Kev Douala, award-winning breakfast show, by the way, in our sports bulletins at 7:30, 8:30, and you can hear from the manager at 7:50. Forward ball from Patterson. Good turn there from Merlin Roll in towards the edge of the penalty area. Merlin Roll shuffles it out towards Mykolenko. Mykolenko shoots. Oh, what a save from Emi Martinez. Well, Vitaly Mykolenko's shot looked destined for the top corner after another productive Everton move. But that was a fabulous save from Emi Martinez. Great work initially from Merlin Roll. And that was a wonderful save because Mykolenko's left foot, he really hit it powerfully.
Yeah, it was a good effort from Vitaly Mykolenko, in fairness. Berated him earlier for lack of quality in the final third, but he gave Emi Martinez something to do there, and Everton unlucky not to take the lead.
Take the corner short, and it comes across. Headed down! Oh, and Everton are in front! Oh, the flag's gone up for offside. Jake O'Brien with a powerful header at the far post. But immediately, the Everton cheers from the away fans turn to jeers from the home fans. VAR are going to have a look at it, checking the goal disallowed. Everton worked the corner short, and when you work the corner short, it gives the opposition defenders the chance to move out. But, well, I don't think he's offside, I'll be honest with you.
I don't think he is offside. I think they're actually looking at Harrison Armstrong and whether he's interfering with play, but I don't think Jake O'Brien is in an offside position when the ball comes in. It'll be interesting to see what happens here.
It's Harrison Armstrong interfering with play as he rises with the Villa defender. Jake O'Brien with a powerful header at the far post from the short corner, cross from the left, headed into the back of the net by Jake O'Brien. Everton's joy was short-lived, but they are having a look at this, and it's far from being clear-cut, this one. As ever, this dreadful wait dreadful wait as VAR. We had one for 6 minutes. In fact, it is going to be disallowed. Yeah, Tony Harrington is told by VAR. Well, I don't think David Moyes will be particularly happy with that, but we'll find out what the Everton manager has to say. But Everton have been on the wrong end of an awful lot of VAR decisions. I'm not going to say that was the most contentious, as Jake O'Brien got on the end of the cross from James Garner. But again, it's interpretation, and the interpretation very rarely goes Everton's way.
Yeah, I'm actually trying to rack my brain, Mike, for the last time the interpretation did go in Everton's favour. That looked harsh to me. Armstrong is challenging for the ball in the box with Evan Gessan, but O'Brien's behind him and has his own clear run at that, and he himself wasn't in an offside position. So it'll be really interesting to hear what David Moyes says after the game. I'm not sure he'll be too happy about the decision.
Villa come forward down the left-hand side with Martin inside the penalty area now, down towards the dead ball line, pulls it back. Oh! Driven shot there from just outside the 6-yard box and hit powerfully by Morgan Rogers, deflected wide for a Villa corner. Villa down this left-hand side with the pace of Maatsen causing problems for Everton. It's been the most productive outlet for Aston Villa. More from Paddy Boylan on that in a moment. It actually came off for Jake O'Brien, I think. Corner, Aston Villa, Yuri Tielemans to take towards the edge of the penalty. Rogers, right-footed shot, but saved Pickford. He got two good hands behind that and palms it out for a throw in right-hand side. Taken quickly by Tielemans, gets it back from Martin. In comes the cross, Pickford there again. That's a good punch. Two fists from Pickford, back out to Maatsen, left-hand side. Gets the cross in again. Volley clear by James Garner. Villa piling on the pressure. 9 minutes to go to the break. 0-0 at Villa Park. Maatsen in towards Buendia. Back with Tielemans on the left-hand side. Morgan Rogers dropping deep to show for possession. Gets possession. Turns away from Merlin Roll. Tielemans right-footed ball to the left. Buendia level with the edge of the Everton penalty. Driving it towards the box now. Down towards the byline. Pulls the cross in. Pickford takes and does really well to take. Took a slight nick there and took a bit of the pace off it. Good goalkeeping on 3 occasions there in a minute from Jordan Pickford. Paddy Boylan.
Yeah, Pickford really alerted to get to that Rogers shot. Dwight McNeil was actually appealing to the referee that he was blocked off from getting to the ball and closing down. Rogers may well have had a point, but Villa definitely targeting this Everton right-hand side. Just about all their attacks and all of their joy are coming from that side of the pitch, and Nathan Patterson struggling to get to grips with things a little bit.
The pace of Maatsen is causing problems, and not only that, Morgan Rogers prefers to play left of centre, even though he has quite often a roving commission for Villa, who are in possession now. 37 minutes gone. 0-0 at Villa Park. The home side in possession with Matty Cash out to Evan Gesson, who's had Villa's best chance so far. Free kick awarded for Villa for the challenge on Gesson. They go back into centre field with Tielemans. Short pass for Ezri Konza on his right foot inside the centre circle, inside the Villa half, up towards the halfway line. Strides forward. Cherno Barry with the challenge. Does well to worry the Villa defender. Back it goes towards Garner. Forward ball. Might break inside the penalty for Harrison Armstrong. Harrison Armstrong down towards the byline. Shuffling one way then the other. Still manages to maintain possession. Back out towards Jack Grealish. Left edge of the box. Grealish finds Garner. Here's Armstrong on the overlap. Mikalenko back with Garner, and then Jack Grealish, James Garner. Villa have got everybody back behind the ball as the pace has rather gone out of the attack, but Everton still in possession, and Jack Grealish driving it towards the penalty area, down towards the byline. Got a chance to pull it back. In comes the cross. Villa stab it away, only as far as Dwight McNeil. McNeil back to Garner. McNeil out towards the left-hand side, finds Jake O'Brien in possession. O'Brien back with Dwight McNeil. Garner, McNeil And in the end, Everton go back inside their own half with Jake O'Brien. Good turn to shoot off halfway from James Garner. Spreads the play out towards the right-hand side. Chested down by Patterson. Crossing opportunity. Turns one way then the other. Manages to win a throw-in as Villa had two men on Patterson. Didn't really know which way to go, but at least Everton have a throw.
He just didn't have any support on that side there when he picks up the ball. He almost looks to pop the pass off to somebody and get it back, but has to turn around, and all momentum goes from the attack because there's nobody else out there from an Everton perspective.
Because Everton had overloaded on the left-hand side 30 seconds previously, hadn't they?
Yeah, so everything going towards Grealish, which you do understand because he's Everton's danger man here, but they just need to be a bit more balanced in how they look to attack and less predictable.
It's going to be a long throw here from Everton's Jake O'Brien, scorer of that disallowed goal. In comes the throw towards the near post. Headed on, might break inside the penalty, but just kicks up and kindly into the arms of Emi Martinez, who throws it out towards Evan Gesson. Merlin Roll gives chase. Gesson turns and tries to get away from Merlin Roll. Good challenge from Roll, goes out of play. Villa have a throw in. 5 minutes to go to the break. Still, we await the first goal of the game. Everton struck the post inside 30 seconds and have had a goal disallowed, plus a stunning left foot drive from Vitaly Mykolenko, tipped over the bar from Emi Martinez. Everton have done well so far. Villa in possession. The ball inside the D on the edge of their own penalty area, with the goalkeeper Emi Martinez, who made that stunning save. Driving up towards halfway now is Lamar Bogard. Forward ball is won for Everton there by Jake O'Brien, but his clearance up towards halfway is straight to Yuri Tielemans. Buendia, edge of the penalty area. Back with Tielemans, 10 yards from the edge of the box. In comes the cross towards Gesson. With a header, it hits the crossbar, with Jordan Pickford bemused as to where it was going to end up. Villa with Maatsen. Tielemans, Maatsen, left edge of the penalty area. Crossing opportunity down towards the bar line. In comes the cross, blocked by McNeil. Villa have a corner, looping header from Gesson. It dropped down. Jordan Pickford just didn't know where it was going, and it hit the crossbar, and Everton had a fortunate escape.
Yeah, a bit of a mismatch at the back post there. The physicality of Gesson against Mykolenko. It looked like Pickford had misjudged it, and he gets lucky with the bounce. Ricochets back. Everton just need to be careful there. They can't allow Tielemans that much time on the edge of the box to pick a spot. He's a really quality passer of the football.
Paddy Borden from The Athletic. I'll summarise this afternoon. Villa corner left-hand side, going to be taken by the right foot of Matty Cash. In it comes, under the crossbar. Jordan Pickford does really well to punch it away for another corner kick. He bundled into Nathan Patterson as he did so. The Everton right back got a bit of a knock. Jordan Pickford, I think, has just about managed to get to his feet after that physical exertion, and uses his towel just behind the goal to wipe his gloves and rub his chest. Villa come again with another corner on the left. Again Cash in towards the near post. Villa make first contact. Everton get it away from the edge of the 6-yard box. Villa with Emi Buendia, clever right-footed ball out towards the right-hand side, taken on the chest by Tielemans. As it drops, he turns it back there to Lamar Bogard. Emi Martinez, and then Maatsen with a left-footed ball aimed for Matty Cash on the left touchline. Completely miskicked, and thankfully out of play for an Everton throw-in. 2 minutes to go to the break, plus whatever is to be added on. It'd certainly be a couple of minutes, you would have thought, for the VAR malarkey that we had after the disallowed goal that Jake O'Brien headed in from the cross from the left-hand side from Everton's short corner. Worked into the path of James Garner. His cross headed in but disallowed. Everton striding forward with Merlin Rowe. Right-footed ball for Mykolenko. Out to the left for Jack Grealish. Grealish inside the penalty and now shoots. It's blocked and it comes off the back of Matty Cash, and Everton have themselves a corner. Smile there from Jack Grealish. Just he's managed to get himself into a couple of good shooting positions, and on 3 occasions I think they've been blocked.
Yeah, you sent he'd love to make an impact here against his former club, but it's just not coming off. Getting into good positions, as you say, take an attempt at goal, but all 3 have been blocked, and he just needs to do a little bit more to kind of separate himself from the defender before shooting.
Well, Everton have got a man down inside the penalty area. James Tarkowski's been bundled into there by Pau Torres. The referee, Tony Harrington, is having a win. Now Pau Torres, with an outstretched left hand, pulled Tarkowski to the deck. In these situations, how long have we been saying that we shouldn't be able to, this shouldn't be the tugging on corners?
He's all over him still.
Yeah, he's still. Everton corner, James Garner to take on the left towards the edge of the penalty area. Mikolenko stopped it and then worked it low inside the box. Villa got it away without too many problems, and comes across that might break there for James Tarkowski, as it just eluded Cherno Barry. James Tarkowski gets the right footed crossing. It's gone out for a throw. 3 minutes to add on, and Tarkowski, unusual to see him in the right wing position down by the corner flag.
Yeah, he probably wasn't too happy having to go and fetch that ball after his first half exertions. His cross is the cross of a centre half in the wrong position. You probably want him in the box to try and get on the end of that cross, but Everton building a little bit momentum towards the end of the half.
Jake O'Brien's going to unleash another long throw from the corner by the corner flag right hand side. In it comes. Villa make first contact. Everton try and get a touch on it. Villa lash it downfield through Evan Gessel. Everton win in the air, but Villa out towards the left hand side. Chasing back there is Jake O'Brien. Turns one way and then hammers it against Morgan Rogers, and it's going to go out of play, or is it? No, it's still in play. Rogers tugging at the shirt of Jake O'Brien. O'Brien bundled into by a combination initially of Morgan Rogers, then Yuri Tielemans. Fabulous defending under pressure from Jake O'Brien after a slight misjudgment initially, and Everton have themselves a free kick that Jordan Pickford is going to take in the right back position.
That's what Jake O'Brien gives you at centre back. He's quicker than the other options in Tarkowski and Michael Keane, so he's got that recovery pace. It allows Everton to play a higher line, and you see that pace in that situation, bailing Everton out of what appeared to be initially a difficult situation.
Free kick taken by Jordan Pickford out towards the right touchline. Cherno Barry, I think he was bundled into there, I really do. The referee has given, I thought he'd given a free kick. No, he's just signalled that it's a throw-in.
David Moyes is not happy there. He's got his arms out, a glare towards the referee.
Two players pushing and shoving Cherno Barry as he made a valid attempt to win possession. Long ball by Villa out towards the right-hand side, and a good attempt by Matty Cash to control it, but it came off his right foot and off onto his chest and behind the whitewash. It dropped for an Everton goal kick, and I think that Tony Harrington signalling to Jordan Pickford no more time wasting. So Jordan Pickford gets ready to spot the ball down on the edge of the 6-yard box. There's 19 seconds of the 3 minutes to be added on that remain. Let's see if there's any more going to be added on to that. Long downfield, left-footed from Jordan Pickford. Villa win it, but it's headed out of play by a frustrated Yuri Tielemans. And the referee says that's enough for the first 45 minutes. David Moyes will be very happy with the majority of what he's seen from his Everton team. Not just defensively, by the way, but in an attacking sense. They've created some good opportunities. The first inside 30 seconds when a right foot cross shot from Merlin Roll after good work from Cherno Barry. Long clearance downfield from Pickford that had been turned back to him from the kickoff by Everton's James Garner. One in the air, touched into the path of Roll, one touch to control, then right-footed against the post with Martinez beaten. I don't think he caught it as cleanly as he would have liked, but it struck the post and bounced back into the goalkeeper's arms. We've also had, as we're going off the field, the referee being spoken to by James Tarkowski, not happy at all with the decision to disallow a headed goal from Everton's Jake O'Brien. Corner on the left-hand side, worked short to Garner. Garner's cross in from the left, headed into the back of the net at the far post, with a cracking headed finish for Everton by Jake O'Brien, but it was disallowed. VAR intervened and it was ruled out. And good effort too from Vitaly Mikalenko. Thunderbolt left footer touched over by Emi Martinez, but it's been pretty decent from Everton so far. Villa have had their moments and they've struck the crossbar, but Everton so far, Paddy Boyden from the Athletic, have done well.
Yeah, you would expect Villa to have their moments at home given they're going for the title, but Everton have more than held their own and had a number of opportunities themselves. Really unlucky with the Merlin Roll effort. Still think harshly treated on the Jake O'Brien disallowed goal. I'm sure we'll hear more from David Moyes later. So a decent effort from a depleted Everton side against what is a very good Aston Villa team too.
Yeah, Villa have won their last 11 home games, but so far Everton are not only keeping Villa at bay, they've been close to an opener on a number of occasions. Half-time score at Villa Park, Aston Villa 0, Everton 0.
Total Sport.
First for football.
BBC Radio Merseyside.
And back in good time for the second half of Villa Park. Decent performance from Everton. Goal disallowed, controversially maybe, hit the post. It's been a good game, but 0-0. In fact, no goals in the Premier League so far today because the other game, the 2 o'clock finish, game finished Wolves 0, Newcastle 0. So let's see if we get some goals in the second half at Villa Park. Certainly got goals in the Women's FA Cup and a big win for Liverpool women, who won 6-0 away at London Bees. And in the Rugby League Championship, disappointment for Widnes Vikings. Their first game of the season, they went down at London Broncos by 44 points to 12. But 0-0 at Villa Park at the break. Well, at the top of the programme, we heard the last time Everton beat Aston Villa in the Premier League. That was back on March the 1st, 2016, when they completed a league double over the Midlanders. Earlier in the campaign, in the November, they beat Villa 4-0 at Goodison Park.
Total Sport.
Rewind.
BBC Radio Merseyside.
Stones forward to Barkley. Nice little flick on there. James McCarthy, right hand side, finds Gerard Deulofeu. Deulofeu through, a chance there for Everton, 1-0. Ross Barkley from close range, side-footed home with the far post after a flowing move involving 5 Everton players. Nice touch on by Lukaku. McCarthy involved and the ball broke to Gerard Deulofeu. We thought he was going to try a shot. I think it was intended to be a low cross towards the far post. It was touched down, but only into the path of Ross Barkley, who prodded it in from close range. Stones, good ball for Deulofeu. Deulofeu's going to run at Richardson again. Skips inside him this time, pokes it forward towards Lukaku. Breaks outside for Seamus Coleman, chips it in. Lukaku with a header! Romelu Lukaku, 50 up for the big Belgian. Everton's record signing. Gets his 50th Premier League goal. He becomes only the 5th player under the age of 23 to achieve that feat, and the 3rd youngest.
He's a landmark that tells you a lot about the quality of Rom. We know he's a young man, we know he's got incredible potential, but to reach 50 goals or 51 goals before the age of 23 is quite impressive. He deserves that. I think the way that he's been playing this season is a very, very mature footballer, and he sets the tone of our performances, so delighted.
Lukaku on his right foot, scoop ball back, might break for Kone inside the penalty area. Did he get a touch on it? The referee, Everton have got a chance for a 3rd goal. It's given. It's Ross Barkley who smacks it in after Villa had 2 attempts to try and get it clear, and they couldn't. I actually thought Ruda Kone had handled the ball there. As the ball was scooped forward, he ran on, and in a battle with Brad Guzan, I thought It had possibly touched his arm. The referee was in a good position to spot it. He said play on.
Coming back from the international break, it was important to start well, and we came off the back of a decent, hard-fought game against West Ham, and it was great to show the fans what we're capable of on our day, and we thought we were quite lethal in front of goal.
Still Everton leading 3-0. De La Feu picks up possession inside the centre circle. Barkley racing forward. Sets up Lukaku, and chance! Lukaku's got another for Everton. Fantastic flowing move set up by De La Feu, who's in inspirational form, powering forward from halfway. Angle pass for Ross Barkley edge of the penalty area. He quickly shifted it on to the on-rushing Romelu Lukaku, racing forward as the goalkeeper to beat, and lashed it past him in double quick time. Lukaku's got two, Barkley's got two. Lukaku and Kone celebrating Strictly Come Dancing style in front of the Gladys Street end. It's Everton 4, Aston Villa 0.
Total Sport.
Rewind.
BBC Radio Merseyside.
Yeah, so Everton beating Aston Villa 4-0 back in November 2015, but 0-0 at the break today. Back there shortly. A defeat for Tranmere yesterday in League 2. They lost 3-1 at home to Walsall. Derek Jones spoke to manager Andy Crosby after the game.
Well, Andy, a little bit of time to reflect. The fans gave their version of events at the end of the game. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, we found it really difficult this moment in time, Derek, at home. The last 4 or 5 games with one win in the 5 and conceding a lot of goals. So we find it a really challenging place to play here currently. A lot's been said this week about confidence from individual players and the collective responsibility of that. But I say that the responsibility starts and ends with me. That's my team. I picked that team. But say we find it really challenging at home at this moment in time.
Again, for 35 minutes, probably hardly a shot really. They had a chance early on, but then a corner, you concede. Give the ball away, you concede. Second half, simple cross in, you concede. I mean, it's a familiar pattern. It is a familiar pattern. Our record for conceding from set plays is, I think, before this game was the second best in the league. But as you say, the first 35 minutes of the game, nothing had happened. It was a typical League 2 game. Lots of mid-third play, not a lot of quality. We obviously then go behind and we concede a goal again we've seen previously just before half-time, and at 2-0 down, it is challenging. But as I said to the players at half-time, that let's go out there and stick together, and the moment can change the game. A moment can change the flow of a game. It can change the atmosphere of the game. It can affect the opponent. But obviously we didn't do that, and then we found ourselves 3-0 down. But I say that's my responsibility. I'm not going to shirk away from that. There's obviously lots of things which are affecting our numbers and all that. But say it's my responsibility, and we collectively, and I have to try and change this narrative at home. Yeah, there's optimism when you travel away. I think you're top 7 in terms of performances away from home, and that's what everybody found so difficult to understand. Why it's so difficult here when you have found a way on your travels. Yeah, habit. And it's difficult, I say, to shake that habit, which means you have to try and stay in the present moment, and what does the game need then, and try and do that, and then the outcome will happen at the end of the game. But I say we find it difficult. Concede the first goal, again, habit, mentality, but about trying to do the basics of the game and stay in the game. And the difference between automatic promotion places and not in our league is very small margins, and opportunities arise from them, and set plays we talk about, and transitions from the middle of the pitch, and they've hurt us again today.
Andy Crosby talking to Derek Jones after the defeat yesterday. Just some news in from Villa Park regarding the disallowed goal from Jake O'Brien. The referee's call of no goal was checked and confirmed by VAR, with it deemed that Armstrong interfered with an opponent's ability to play the ball from an offside position. So that was the clarification that's come. It'll be a talking point anyway, but that's the official line on that Jake O'Brien disallowed goal. which was one of the highlights of the first half, 0-0.
Everton and England number 1, Jordan Pickford, launches it long downfield towards the edge of the Villa penalty area. Gino Barry helps it on. Merlin Roll inside the penalty area, shoots. Oh gosh. Well, didn't get hold of it in the way that he wanted, but that was a real opportunity for Merlin Roll. It just fell to him, deflected into his path off Gino Barry. Edge of the penalty area, Roll with the effort, and it came back off the post and into the arms of Emi Martinez. Everton almost a goal in front inside 30 seconds. Long ball down the left, deflected into the path of Emi Buendia inside the penalty. Buendia tees it up over the bar, thankfully, from Morgan Rogers, but Everton caught napping with the thrust and pace of Villa's forward movement, and James Tarkowski having a very large word with Nathan Patterson. John McGinn in the central position, inside the centre circle, inside the Everton half. Once again, Ezri Konsa slides it forward in towards the edge of the penalty area. Dwight Manil gets an important touch, and then James Garner, but it's given away there, and a driven shot straight, thankfully, at Jordan Pickford from Maatsen after Merlin Roll had given away possession very cheaply, and that was a decent chance for Villa. Everton can't afford to give away possession in those sort of areas. Tielemans and Maatsen exchange passes twice. Forward it comes towards Gesson inside the penalty area, can't get anything on his shot, and it's straight at Jordan Pickford from 15 yards out. Pickford a couple of yards outside his 6-yard box, and it was straight at him, thankfully. Patterson, good turn then from Merlin Roll in towards the edge of the penalty area. Merlin Roll shuffles it out towards Mikalenko. Mikalenko shoots! Oh, what a save from Emi Martinez. Well, Vitaly Mikalenko's shot looked destined for the top corner. After another productive Everton move, take the corner short, and in comes a cross. Headed down! Oh, and Everton are in front! Flag's gone up for offside. Jake O'Brien with a powerful header at the far post, but immediately the Everton cheers from the away fans turn to jeers from the home fans. VAR are going to have a look at it, checking the goal disallowed. Everton worked the corner short, and when you work the corner short, it gives the opposition defenders the chance to move out. But as ever, this dreadful wait as VAR. We had one for 6 minutes. In fact, it is going to be disallowed. Villa come forward down the left hand side with Mats inside the penalty area now, down towards the dead ball line, pulls it back. Oh, driven shot there from just outside the 6-yard box, and hit powerfully by Morgan Rogers, deflected wide for a Villa corner. Aston Villa, Yuri Tielemans to take towards the edge of the penalty. Rogers, right-footed shot, good save Pickford. He got two good hands behind that and palms it out for a throw-in right-hand side. Back with Tielemans, 10 yards from the edge of the box. In comes the cross towards Gesson with a header. It hits the crossbar with Jordan Pickford bemused as to where it was going to end up. Villa with Maatsen, Tielemans, Maatsen, left edge of the penalty. Crossing opportunity down towards the bar line. In comes the cross, blocked by McNeil. Villa have a corner, looping header from Gesson. It dropped down. Jordan Pickford just didn't know where it was going, and it hit the crossbar, and Everton had a fortunate escape.
Total Sport.
Live Premier League football.
BBC Radio Merseyside.
Intriguing second half in prospect. Let's get back to Villa Park and join our commentary team, Paddy Boyland, Everton correspondent for The Athletic, and our match commentator, Mike Hughes.
Thank you, Ian. The Everton players are in the tunnel. They're just about to run out onto the field. And out comes James Tarkowski, leading out the Blues. Not the Blues today, of course. They're in their change strip. Cream shirts, black shorts and black socks. But they've acquitted themselves really well in the first half. With that effort, timed at 11 seconds, by the way, from Merlin Roll. Straight from the kick-off, right-footed against the post with Martinez beaten. A goal disallowed, and Vitaly Mikalenko's long-range effort the best of Everton in an attacking sense, but they've defended really well. Villa, a couple of good saves from Jordan Pickford, and there was that looping header from substitute Evan Gesson against the bar with Jordan Pickford completely unaware of where it was going to land. So Paddy Boylan, more of the same from Everton's second half in terms of maintaining this clean sheet, but in an attacking sense, getting amongst the goals.
Yeah, they just need to be a little bit more clinical in the final third. They have had their moments and they have restricted Villa to relatively little. Just be nice to see Grealish or Armstrong or even Merlin Roll break forward and have that moment of quality that could turn 1 point here into 3.
Villa are about to kick off. Everton have got a pretty bad habit on occasions of conceding goals early on in the second half of matches. Concentration levels have to be absolutely spot on to make sure that doesn't happen. We're back underway in the second half. Short ball fed into the path of Tielemans. Back it goes to Bogard and out to the right. Matty Cash. Evan Gesson dispossessed. Everton have it with Jack Grealish on the touchline. Back to Mikalenko. Lob ball forward. Villa win it back. Then Grealish with a header taken down nicely on the thigh by Everton's Merlin Roll. But the pass from James Garner to nobody in particular at the top end of the pitch, and so Villa are able to regain possession. Forward ball is aimed for Morgan Rogers on the right touchline. Completely miskicked, and the ball comes off him. Unlike Morgan Rogers to miscontrol like that. Everton throwing down the left hand side, headed away there by Bogard. Everton challenges, Villa working forward towards halfway. It's a good tackle by James Garner, and the referee doesn't think it is a good tackle by James Garner. In fact, it's going to be a second yellow card for Everton. I'm not so sure that really merited a yellow card, but the referee, Tony Harrington, is the man who makes the decisions. I think he was just trying to get his right foot around the ball to make the challenge, and didn't manage to do so, Paddy Boylan.
Yeah, I think it was an honest tackle rather than something cynical to stop the attack. He does think he's got a chance to win the ball, I believe, but doesn't get there, brings the man down and halts a promising Villa attack. So he goes into the book, and it's going to have to require quite a bit of discipline now from James Garner not to get caught out and not to make that vital second foul that results in a red card.
Villa eventually knocked the ball in towards the edge of the Everton penalty area. Flag goes up for offside. Everton have got a free kick, so already in the referee's notebook was Dwight McNeil. James Garner joins him, and as Paddy Boylan, Everton correspondent from The Athletic, makes the point that maintaining the discipline and knowing when to challenge and how to challenge going to be vitally important for what remains of this game. Long ball forward, Barry wins it, but Villa are onto the second ball, eventually working in field to Tielemans, who tricks his way past Cherno Barry out towards the left hand side. Martson, who was a very good outlet for Villa in the first half down that left hand side. Villa go back, Everton win back possession. This time Jack Grealish is brought back for a challenge there on Bogard. Villa take the free kick quickly. Cash works it back in for Ezri Konza. Konza looks for options, signals by waving his right arm, but decides to go back to Emi Martinez. The Villa goalkeeper moves the ball from the edge of the D out towards Bogard on the right touchline. Then back for Konza and Martinez. Right-footed pass to the left-hand side for Pau Torres. Short ball for Matson. Infield it comes, and dropping deep there is Ollie Watkins for Matson. Matson cuts in field. That's a good challenge to win it back for Everton. Really good play. And Nathan Patterson, after winning possession, actually is fouled by Morgan Rogers. Tony Harrington gives the free kick Everton's way, and maybe David Moyes would have liked him not to, because I think Everton might have been of more merit if he'd allowed them to carry on.
Yeah, I don't really see why they've stopped play there. Everton had men over on the right and a decent opportunity to counter-attack, so there will be some frustration that promising attack was halted from an Everton perspective.
Grealish takes a tumble and presents possession to Aston Villa. Youri Tielemans, forward ball, helped on towards Watkins. Inside the penalty area now, right-footed, shots blocked. Good defending from an Everton point of view there. Real shame that Grealish slipped when Everton just trying to build. Here come Villa again. Cross from the right edge of the penalty area. In comes the cross. Tielemans with a header. It's wide and Everton have a goal kick, but that's got the dander up from the Villa fans away to our right hand side, the famous Holt end. Jordan Pickford not particularly bothered by that, but Youri Tielemans found the space in a dangerous position, got on the end of the cross, and that is a bit of a worry.
Yeah, it was a let-off again for Everton. Tielemans completely unmarked in the box. He's ghosted from midfield and nobody in the Everton midfield's picked him up, ends up getting in front of James Tarkowski. So if it had been somebody other than Youri Tielemans, if it had been Ollie Watkins, then Everton really probably would have been in trouble, you'd imagine.
A loose pass straight to Maatsen on the left touchline, but play is going to be brought back. In fact, it had gone out of play for an Everton throw-in. In fact, no, the flag is up for offside. Either way, we start with a free kick, and Everton move it on to James Garner, then Jake O'Brien back for Jordan Pickford. 5 minutes have gone in the second half, 0-0. Crossfield pass from Harrison Armstrong's a good one to Tarkowski. Now towards the right hand side, Patterson's forward ball is straight to Maatsen. Dwight McNeil challenges, is immediately outwitted. Infield to Morgan Rogers, driving forward, Rogers going to unleash one. That's a good challenge by Mikalenko on the edge of the penalty area. Forward ball, Harrison Armstrong can't maintain possession. Villa come again, out towards the right hand side. Ollie Watkins gets the cross in. Everton get it clear, but at the cost of a throw into Villa out towards the right hand side. Everton not being careful enough in possession,
making life difficult for themselves twice in quick succession by gifting the ball to Villa in dangerous areas. There was one there where Morgan Rogers got a clear run at the Everton defence, and usually he punishes teams in those kinds of situations, so Everton just need to be careful. Villa getting a bit of momentum here.
Everton do well to win possession, and then a slip by Dwight McNeil allows them to pinch it back. Dwight McNeil can't believe that, but here come Villa driving forward with Maatsen. Left hand side, challenge from Cherno Barry. Maatsen just manages to maintain possession, shuffles it back, but great running back from Dwight McNeil to win it for Everton. 1-2 between Tarkowski and Patterson. Good header there from Cherno Barry. Good pass out towards the left hand side for Jack Grealish from Harrison Armstrong. Armstrong runs beyond Grealish, level with the edge of the penalty, it works it back to Garner, going to have a long range effort on goal, got completely underneath it, 35 yards out, 32, 33 maybe, got right underneath it, and the G's will tell you where it ended up. It wasn't Paddy Boylan on target.
It was not pretty, and you would expect more from a player of James Garner's quality. I don't mind him shooting there actually, because he's got the ability to trouble the goalkeeper, but it's far from James Garner's best effort, you would say.
He saw the whites of the goalkeeper's eyes, they always used to say, didn't they? But yeah, Villa restart and launch it long downfield. One in the air by Tarkowski, taken down by Lamar Bogart, but one back by Harrison Armstrong. Nice interchange of passing from Everton, and Barry shovels it back to Merlin Rowe. Might break for Armstrong. Villa with Matty Cash in field to Morgan Rogers, and then Buendia controls it right-footed, moves it out to the left for Maatsen. Maatsen in acres of space, driving forward. He's midway inside the Everton half now. Back in for Buendia. Central area, has an option with Matty Cash to the right, goes short for Lamar Bogart. Right-footed ball to the left of centre for Youri Tielemans. Back it goes to Pau Torres. Bogart trying to run away from Harrison Armstrong. Forward ball to Ollie Watkins. Maatsen, Ollie Watkins with a low cross in. Is scuffed and mishit and lack power and direction. Straight for Pickford in the Everton goal. It remains 0-0. Pickford for Jake O'Brien. There's a nice ball there for Tierno Barry to try and put Ezri Konsa under pressure. Does precisely that. He's going to close down Emi Martinez and try to outstretch boot to try and win it back from Martinez. It gets it back from Pau Torres, and Villa playing a bit of keep ball at the back, and the goalkeeper's brought into play again as Konsa, Pau Torres and Lamar Bogard maintain possession. And then Martinez for Konsa up towards the halfway line to the right of centre. Forward ball for Buendia. It's a lovely pass for Evan Gesson, but Jake O'Brien, good pace to get away from his man, win possession and clear upfield. Jack Grealish tries to keep it in play, but it's gone out. Throw in taken quickly. Take it further back than that, but he took it in precisely the same position, and Villa working in towards the right edge of the penalty area. Good challenge there from James Garner on Evan Gesson. Nice pass upfield for Grealish, keeps it in play. Shuffles it away from one man, but not the second, and then Grealish is fouled by Bogard as he won it back, and he's been kicked in the back of his ankle, or maybe by his Achilles, which makes it more painful. Beats the ground in frustration. Yellow card there for Lamar Bogard, and Everton have themselves a free kick, and Jack Grealish has got himself a bit of pain into the bargain.
Not been Grealish's day so far, clearly, but at least he's won the ball back there after initially giving it away. Gets Everton a free kick, and you can hear the fans, the Everton fans away in the far left corner, singing away in appreciation from him. He's still a fan favourite, even if it's not quite coming off.
Because the Everton fans know the fabulous levels of ability that he has. Not been a purple patch recently for Grealish, but I think there are reasons, and justifiable ones, for that of late. Free kick for Everton taken by Pickford midway inside his own half, forward towards the edge of the penalty. One in the air by Tierno Barry. Out it goes towards Jake O'Brien, couldn't control it, and Villa break, and up towards halfway. James Garner couldn't make the challenge on Morgan Rogers, and Rogers in towards the edge of the penalty. Rogers gets away from one challenge and a second, goes down inside the box. The Holt End appeal for a penalty. The referee waves play out. Everton move it up towards halfway. Armstrong for Grealish. Skips away from the challenge of Cash. Brought down by Cash. The referee gives a free kick. That should have been a yellow card.
Yeah, it should have been, and the player's been stopped for an Everton free kick. Loud boos from Villa Park, and Villa players remonstrating with the referee Harrington. They wanted a penalty or a free kick for a foul on the edge of the box, but we're seeing the replays here, and it's excellent work from Jake O'Brien and James Garner to stop Rogers in his tracks. Really good defensive work, and Everton have now got their own crossing position here with the free kick and James Garner over it.
In tandem with the challenge, Jake O'Brien held him up, and the touch came in from behind Morgan Rogers from James Garner, and that was an important touch. Everton worked it upfield and have won a free kick. The free kick is 15 yards from the edge of the penalty area, 5 yards in from the left touchline. Going to be taken with the right foot of James Garner. He's going to swing it in towards goal. Bit of wrestling and pushing and shoving. Jake O'Brien and Emi Buendia. In fact, it's Matty Cash who's shoving it in the back. It comes towards the edge of the 6-yard box. Villa get it clear. Mikolenko heads it out towards the left-hand side. And it's James Garner trying to keep it in play, but it's gone out for a throw-in to Aston Villa. It's a shame that Everton couldn't make more of that free kick. Villa have a throw-in, but deep inside their own half, level with the penalty spot. Cash is going to take it. Wipes the ball on his arms. The rain has receded ever so slightly. In fact, I think it might have stopped completely now. It wasn't particularly heavy, but Morgan Rogers forward for Villa. Good challenge there from Jake O'Brien to just step in and turn the ball back 30 yards, 40 yards to Jordan Pickford. Long clearance from Pickford. Headed away there by Pau Torres. Came back fortuitously, but Everton have got it now. Dwight McNeil with the shot. Might break here for Barry. Barry shoots. Goal. Oh, it's into the back of the net from Tierno Barry. It looked as though it might just creep over the line, but I think the final touch might have come from Ezri Konsa. Slack play from Villa. They gave the ball away on the edge of the penalty area. Everton worked it into Tierno Barry. His shot was blocked, but then just looped over the goalkeeper. And I think Ezri Konsa tried to clear it, and it ended up in the back of the net. Everton have gone in front. Tierno Barry with the goal. He makes the Archer sign in front of the Villa fans away to our left-hand side. But the Everton fans right opposite us are absolutely jubilant. It's a goal for Tierno Barry, and it's Aston Villa 0, Everton 1. Paddy Boylan.
Those Aston Villa fans next to us are not happy at that Tierno Barry celebration. He celebrated right in front of them, so there's loads of irate looks on the faces of those Villa fans. But it's a great piece of skill from Tierno Barry. He latches onto the loose ball, and it's a really intelligent dink with his weaker foot, his left foot, over Emi Martinez into the goal. Lovely finish, and that's why Everton brought Tierno Barry to the club for moments like that.
It was given away, and the shot from left-footed from Dwight McNeil was palmed away by Martinez, but chased in by Tierno Barry, and a chipped finish that ended up in the back of the net. I might have been doing him a disservice. I think it was already in before Ezri Konsa may have got a touch. Important goal for Everton, important goal for Tierno Barry. We hit the hour mark. Aston Villa 0, Everton 1. And Everton have got the ball inside their own penalty area with Jordan Pickford. Long clearance downfield. Matty Cash volleys it clear, 10 yards short of halfway. Works it upfield, up towards Morgan Rogers. Works a 1-2 there. And Everton managed to win it back up towards Tierno Barry. Leaves it for Merlin Rowe, driving forward row. He's inside the penalty area now. Down towards the byline, waits for support. It arrives in the shape of Jack Grealish. On his right foot inside the box, Grealish forward ball, might break for Merlin Rowe. Villa get the bodies in and get it clear up towards Ollie Watkins, and then a lofted pass from Buendia. Ollie Watkins and Jake O'Brien. Jake O'Brien gets a touch on it and just kept in by Jordan Pickford. Fabulous defending by the pair of them. I thought it was going to go behind for a corner, but Pickford scrambling out towards his left-hand side inside his box to keep it in play.
That was brilliant again from Jake O'Brien, tracking Ollie Watkins step for step. Watkins really quite pacey in that Villa attack, but Everton have their own player there at the back in O'Brien who can cover the ground, and it's just as well that he was there, because again that snuffed out a really dangerous attack. Everton need to be careful now, Mike, just not to get too caught high up the pitch after scoring the opening goal.
And Everton in possession with James Tarkowski. Tarkowski plays it square for O'Brien. O'Brien goes back for Pickford. And Everton fans, for information, analysis and interviews, as it's launched forward there by Pickford. McNeil hits the deck under the challenge. The referee's not going to stop. You can go to the Everton feed on BBC Sounds. Just look for Everton on BBC Sounds, hit subscribe, and there is a mountain of Everton material for you to have a listen to.
Just fell on his shoulder there, Dwight McNeil, so it'll be interesting to see how he does in the next few minutes. Everton wanted the game stopped, but it's not a head injury, so play continues and Villa back on the attack.
Emi Buendia turns and goes out towards the left-hand side for Maatsen, in towards the edge of the penalty area, has support from Tielemans. Tielemans' right foot shot takes the deflection, and it's going to go out of play, not for a corner, but for a throw into Villa, down by the corner flag on the right-hand side. Matty Cash looks for his options. It's level with the edge of the Everton penalty area. Villa have got plenty of plays in and around the Everton box, and it comes towards the near post. Comes off O'Brien and then wins it first time and then lashes it long downfield. Tierno Barry at a rate of notch chases after it. Comes off Pau Torres' chest, and I think it's going to be an Everton throw-in. And that's really good running from Tierno Barry, just to put Pau Torres under pressure, Paddy Boylan.
Yeah, that's the other side of being a number 9 in the Premier League. It's not just about scoring goals or holding up play. You've got to put pressure on the opposition defenders, and David Moyes will love that from Tierno Barry. He's won Everton a throw-in right down at the side by the corner flag and alleviated some pressure. That's going to be vital in these closing stages. Everton will need to manage this game, and Barry did really well there.
Throw in for Everton, level with the penalty spot, left-hand side. Vitaly Mikalenko is going to have another go at lofting it in at pace towards the edge of the 6-yard box, headed in by Cherno Barry, didn't get much power on it, collected comfortably by Emi Martinez, throws it out towards Maatsen, closed down by McNeil. McNeil wins it back as Maatsen slips, and Everton, good play by Dwight McNeil, who goes back towards Nathan Patterson, and eventually it's back to Jordan Pickford in the Everton goal. There's been so much industry and endeavour from Dwight McNeil today, who's much maligned this season. Dwight McNeil, as the flag goes up for offside against Cherno Barry. But oh my goodness, has he put a shift in today.
He's getting through the work, he's covering when Nathan Patterson goes forward, he's covering behind the midfield at times when Villa get in. He's putting in a real shift for the team defensively, and it must be taken out of him. So you do wonder at what point David Moyes looks to his bench to Adam Asnew or even to Tyler Dibling for a fresh pair of legs. He'll be hoping, I think, McNeil holds out for as long as possible.
Maatsen races downfield, as he has done for most of the game. Infield it comes to Tielemans, cross towards the far post. Matty Cass gets a touch on it, might break here. Villa, Morgan Rogers right-footed, slices it wide and into the whole 10. His eyes must have lit up Morgan Rogers inside right position as it was teed up for him inside the box, 15 yards out. Caught it all wrong, or from an Everton point of view, all right.
Yeah, not Morgan Rogers' best effort of the season, and not by a long stretch, but again you see the value from a Villa perspective of getting Tielemans on the ball in dangerous parts of the pitch. He cuts Everton open, and they're lucky that the finish isn't applied, because that was an opportunity.
Forward ball is held up well by Cherno Barry, in towards Dwight McNeil, who couldn't hold it up, and Everton work it out towards the right hand side. A long ball forward, Merlin Rowe, in fact it's Harrison Armstrong gives chase. Villa go out towards the left-hand side. Maatsen, good defending from him, and he's fouled by Merlin Rowe. And Villa get a free kick. Maatsen goes rolling round all over the place. Well, it didn't look that bad in all honesty. Merlin Rowe shuffles across to make sure he's okay. Seeing this in slow motion, Maatsen makes the challenge. And it was down the back of his calf with his left peg from Merlin Rowe, but he's up and he's okay and he's running. If slightly gingerly, the Villa left back, who's been very, very productive down that left-hand side so far. Everton lead 1-0, 66 and a quarter. 3/4 minutes gone rather. Morgan Rogers driving forward. Good challenge there from James Garner to win it back for Everton. And given away by Grealish. Hit a ball with the outside of his foot when he really should have worked it more precisely. Then Everton come again, and good play by Cherno Barry to help it up and win it in the air. Try and get Everton started again, but he hits the deck, but the referee's already given a free kick.
Applause there from Seamus Coleman as Cherno Barry wins the flick. Coleman's on the sidelines, almost coaching the squad through the game. Typical endeavour from Barry, typical from Seamus Coleman as well. And Barry's in a little bit of pain there. He's getting some treatment from the physios.
Yeah, Cherno Barry still down. Seeing a replay of Everton's goal. Good save from Maatsen after the Villa mistake had presented a chance for Dwight McNeil. Saved by Emi Martinez. But good play, good quick thinking from Cherno Barry to latch onto the loose ball, chip it over the Villa goalkeeper and over the line into the back of the net before Ezri Konsa tried to get at the end of it, tried to clear acrobatically. So Cherno Barry goes off the field for 30 seconds. Villa restart with a free kick, and it's worked out by Pau Torres to the left-hand side for Maatsen. Maatsen with a low cross. Villa, plenty of players inside the penalty area. Everton stab it clear. Breaks for Tielemans. Out towards the left, in comes the low cross. Left-footed and way over the top there from Morgan Rogers this time. And into the Holt end again for an Everton goal kick. But Villa building up ahead of steam.
Yeah, just about to make a double change as well. Former Evertonian Luca Dean coming on. You'd imagine he'll play on the left and look to get loads of crosses into the box for Rodgers and Watkins. That was another moment for Ollie Watkins, and he should have done better with it, really.
So I wonder if it's going to be a straight swap with Maatsen getting knocked before, or is it just the amount of energy that Maatsen has put into the job already? Luca Dean, we know how good he can be. He was a fan's favourite at Everton as Villa drive forward, but Everton win it back, and Tarkowski from a prone position wins it back, and Everton driving forward. Chance to pick out a pass towards the left-hand side, but it's given away, and Villa drive forward. Maatsen in field, central position. Tried to threads it through to Morgan Rogers and out towards the left-hand side. Buendia inside the penalty area. Villa trying to tee it up for a crack at goal. Good defending from Everton, but Villa have possession, and they have it out towards the right edge of the penalty with Matty Cash. Lamar Bogard shuffled into the path now by Maatsen of Emi Buendia, driven back by the presence of Harrison Armstrong. Pau Torres in field, works it to the edge of the box, might break here for Bogard. Cash with a crossing opportunity back for Bogard to the right hand side. Rogers with a low cross, diverted in towards the far post, but Everton put it behind for a corner kick. And that was an early moment for Villa. I think it was Patterson who got the clearance in.
Villa appealing for a penalty there, then the referees just stopped play to check.
Well, there's a break in play as the cross comes in, and the referee is, I think he's quite happy to carry on. Villa corner, substitutions coming shortly. Two men down by the corner flag, right hand side. Tielemans is going to leave it for Maatsen to take it left-footed. Villa got plenty of height at the far post. Work short instead, and back out for Maatsen. Different angle, in comes the cross, headed away. Villa still have it. Everton get it clear, but Villa come again. Driven shot! That's a fantastic save there from Jordan Pickford. As the shot came in from the edge of the penalty area from Morgan Rogers. He caught that one really well, and Pickford with the save to tip it over. It's another corner for Aston Villa, who are about to make the substitutions, and Maatsen to be replaced by Luca Digne. It's a straight swap.
22 Ian Markson, 26 Lamar. Will you please welcome number 12 Luca Digne and 53 George Hemmings.
George Hemmings is coming off from Lamar Bogard. Villa corner down by the right hand side in front of the Holt end. Immediately brought into play Luca Digne with the corner in towards the near post. Everton make first contact and head it clear. Villa back with Cash and Luca Digne with a cross towards the far post. Everton win it in the air, and then Villa back in. Driven shot, deflected behind for a corner, left hand side. Good play by Jake O'Brien to get the block in there.
Everton just can't clear the lines at the moment. They're allowing Villa attack after attack, and the crowd's getting up a little bit. So Everton just need to withstand this spell, ride it out, and then hopefully they'll get opportunities of their own to counter.
Matty Cash with the corner left hand side. 18 minutes remaining. Aston Villa 0, Everton 1. Full commentary on Total Sport Merseyside. Every Everton game of the season. In comes the cross. It's a good take by Jordan Pickford, and the manager David Moyes delighted. Arms aloft, and he claps above his head out towards Jack Grealish. Mikolenko threads it through. I think there's offside there against Merlin Rowe, who just went a little bit too early. But when the player in front goes early, the player making the pass has to see that.
Yeah, the pass is on every time. Villa are playing a high line of their own, and Barry and Roll are both running in behind. But if Everton are going to play that ball, they need to play it early so the players aren't offside. Just delayed the pass Mikolenko there and allowed Villa to push up, catch Roll offside, and the opportunity goes. Those are the moments Everton are going to have to capitalise on here, because you sense Villa will have their moments too.
Esri Konza, forward it comes to Rodgers, in comes the cross towards the edge of the penalty. Patterson gets his head on it. Everton scramble it clear. Good run from Merlin Rowe. He's brought down. Might break for James Garner. The referee waves play on. He says that wasn't a foul. Garner out towards the right hand side. Tucks it back for Dwight McNeil. Back out for Garner on the right touchline. Forward it goes with a run towards Harrison Armstrong. Pulls it back. Oh, Everton don't have enough men inside the box. And Villa outnumbered Cherno Barry by 4-1. And they have possession with Yuri Tielemans. Cash. Forward it comes. Morgan Rodgers dispossessed there by Jake O'Brien. Jack Grealish is brought down there. That was a clear foul. Morgan Rodgers getting a little bit frustrated. Everton get a free kick and a chance to just take the sting out of things a little bit.
I don't want to jinx him, but Jake O'Brien has been outstanding in this game so far. He's been everywhere when Everton have needed him, and there he pushes into midfield to win the ball back, and Everton win another free kick as a result. He's playing in his best position at centre-back and has really helped this Everton back line today.
Everton free kick, just short of halfway, taken by Jordan Pickford, by the way, who's slightly upfield, should we say. Long clearance out towards the right hand side is overhit and out of play for a Villa throw in. That Luca Digne wants to steal a few yards, being told by Tony Harrington to go back. It's level with the penalty spot in the box that Villa are defending. Forward it comes. Everton win it with James Garner right hand side, has his shirt tugged. Everton have got a free kick and a chance to get some body forward. Not too many, but to get it inside the penalty area.
David Moyes was shaking his head though when Jordan Pickford put the free kick immediately out of play. He's spoken before to us in the media about wanting Pickford to be a bit more considered in his distribution. Everton are obviously going to have to hold on to the ball here, take the pressure out of the game, so he will want Moyes, he will want Jordan Pickford to get the ball up to Barry and for Everton to get runners around the target man instead of playing the ball out of play.
Free kick midway inside the Villa half, a few yards in from the right touchline. Plenty of Everton players forward, and it comes towards the far post. It's one bounce behind for a goal kick. Not James Garner's best by any means, but not for the want of trying. He's Everton's free kick taker for the most part. 76.5 minutes gone. Football phone in 0800 731 9333 on Total Sport Merseyside. Give us your thoughts on Everton's performance today, what they need to do in the transfer market, the season so far. Ian Kennedy in the studio in Liverpool City Centre. 0800 731 9333 and text 81333. Put the word Mersey before your message as Villa drive forward in towards the edge of the penalty. Hemmings on his left foot, shots blocked, and Everton get it clear with Jake O'Brien long downfield. You can WhatsApp us 0800 321 333. Put the word Mersey before your message. Esri Konza, forward ball for Buendia. Good challenge by Harrison Armstrong to win it back. Break for Villa, edge of the penalty area. Villa want a free kick. No. Play on. Morgan Rodgers towards the right hand side for Matty Cash, but it's behind Cash, and Everton have themselves a throw in. David Moyes angry again at Everton. Distribution there, but signalling that he's certainly very happy with large elements of the performance. They've got to throw in deep inside their own half. Left hand side, they lead by a goal to nil. Mikolenko with the throw. Villa win it with Hemmings. Straight to Gesson. Might break for Morgan Rodgers, edge of the penalty area. And then a really good clearance downfield from Jake O'Brien after Rodgers had worked himself into a decent position. The ever-vigilant Jake O'Brien lashes it downfield, but Villa regain possession. They come again in the shape of the substitute And they work it out towards the right-hand side. They win a throw-in. George Hemmings gets another touch. Back it goes to Emi Martinez, midway inside the Villa half. Forward to Ezri Konsa. Konsa up towards halfway. Everton challenge and don't win it back, and Villa driving forward with Emi Buendia. Shoots, it's blocked. Might break here for Dwight McNeil. Have Everton got a counter on? Out it comes to the left-hand side for Harrison Armstrong. Forward ball for Beto. Beto slides on the greasy turf, and Villa get back possession, and they get it back far too cheaply. And they come again, but Everton win it back with James Garner. Threads it through to the run of Cherno Barry. Barry can't get there before Emi Martinez clears right-footed out towards the left-hand side. Patterson does really well to rise in the air and win it above Buendia. Heads it out of play for a throw-in. Villa constant possession as we come up almost to the 80-minute mark. Cross out towards the right-hand side. Matty Cash gets away from Grealish in towards the penalty area. Good clearance from James Tarkowski, who wasn't taking any chances. Just lashes it out for a throw into Villa. Everton lead 1-0. Villa take the throw in. Cash throws it back to Hemmings. Forward ball from Konsa. Buendia threads it through, and Everton have got two players just shepherding the ball back without touching it to Jordan Pickford. Evan Guesson closes down, so Pickford picks the ball up and hits it out towards the left-hand side. It's gone out of play again. I think staring eyes are going Jordan Pickford's way. Paddy Boyland at the end of the game.
Yeah, David Moyes, I'm sure, will have a word with Jordan Pickford about his distribution after this. He's just needlessly given possession back to Villa again.
Crossfield ball from Luca Digne, flicks off the head of O'Brien and comes to cross towards the far post this time. Patterson with a header. Driven shot goalwards, overhead effort there from Luca Digne acrobatically, and taken by Jordan Pickford, who was well positioned. And Everton about to bring Beto on, I think, for Cherno Barry, as Harrison Armstrong loses out and Villa drive forward. Buendia miscontrolled. Everton were onto in the flash. James Garner driving up towards halfway is Dwight McNeil. Infield it comes, Merlin Roll bypasses Harrison Armstrong. Cherno Barry for Jack Grealish, cuts in field from halfway. Cherno Barry's offside, so Everton have to go back for Armstrong. Turns and finds Grealish. Grealish maintains possession, is fouled. Everton have a free kick, and that was one that Jack Grealish was hoping was going to happen, Paddy Boylan.
Yeah, and that's his value to the team. He can alleviate pressure by winning those fouls in other parts of the pitch. Beto about to come on for Everton. I think they need a different outlet up front as Cherno Barry tires. But you looked at the midfield as well, and there are a few tired legs in there as well, I'd argue. Moyes not with great options in midfield. You'd have to look maybe to rejig things, and you could understand why he'd be reluctant to do that given where Everton are in this game right now.
Everton work it back through Vitaly Mykolenko for Jake O'Brien. Lofted ball for Mykolenko to run after. It's headed away by Matty Cash straight to Grealish. Mykolenko level with the edge of the Villa penalty. It goes back to Merlin Roll. Harrison Armstrong. Jake O'Brien just inside the Villa half. Left hand side. His pass forward is cut out, but Vitaly Mykolenko tries to win it back and wasn't able to do so. Not fairly anyway. Villa win themselves a free kick. Everton about to make the substitution. Beto on for Cherno Barry. The Everton fans are away to the far side, right opposite us, and there are plenty of them in the lower tier and the upper tier of that stand away to the far side. Lots of applause for Cherno Barry. His goal separates the two sides. Everton lead by 1-0. And that's thanks to Cherno Barry's dinked finish, left-footed over the Villa goalkeeper after Emi Martinez had saved a shot from Dwight McNeil from the edge of the penalty after Villa had given away possession. But Villa drive forward round with Pau Torres left-hand side. In comes the low cross, it comes off Luca Digne, and Everton win possession. Beto wins a throw-in out towards the left-hand side. Pau Torres claims it should be a throw-in to Villa, but it's an Everton throw. 83 and 3/4 minutes gone. Football phone in to come, 0800 731 9333. Ian Kennedy to take your calls. BBC Sounds is the place if you're an Everton fan to get your extra information on the Blues, analysis, information and interviews. Just go onto BBC Sounds, type in Everton and hit subscribe, and you've got so much Everton material to look at and listen to. And here come Aston Villa breaking forward. Ollie Watkins, right-footed ball out towards the left-hand side for the run of Buendia. It was just in front of Buendia and it skidded up off the greasy surface. And Everton had a bit of a let-off because Villa had plenty of space in which to operate left-hand side, Paddy Boylan.
It's not often Villa waste those opportunities. They've started the season so strongly and are still in the title race, but that's a rare moment of indecision from them, a rare lack of quality. I'm just looking at down here below us on the touchline, and Adam Asnu is actually the only Everton player warming up, so you wonder whether maybe he will come on as a winger in the final stage of this game to try and help Everton close it out.
Everton lead by a goal to nil. Luca Dean 15 yards inside the Everton half. Plays it back for the through pass from Tielemans, but it was overhit right-footed and eventually goes behind for an Everton goal kick. Adam Asnu, fabulous performance off the bench last week to win a penalty that maybe if there was VAR probably wouldn't have been given. Nevertheless, he got the penalty to drag Everton kicking and screaming back into that FA Cup tie that they eventually lost on penalties, and we'll say no more about that. Long clearance downfield. Villa eventually win it after it skims off the head of Beto, and Villa drive into midfield, and Harrison Armstrong's outstretched boot tried to intercept it, not able to get the ball, but Everton do manage to win it back. James Garner's slide challenge puts it out of play for a Villa throw-in. Right-hand side, taken by Cash. Back it goes to Ezri Konsa. Shuffles infield inside the centre circle. Right-footed ball to the left of the centre circle for Pau Torres. Long ball forward towards Guesson. Guesson flicks off his head. It's behind for an Everton goal kick. And Jordan Pickford retrieves the ball and is about to spot it down and get Everton going again. Just if they can just hang on to possession for a bit longer, because the more often that Villa come forward, even at the late stages of this game, the chances they've got of creating something obviously still there.
You sense that there's at least one moment left for Aston Villa, and it's going to be whether they capitalise on it or not. So Everton have to keep the ball, they have to try and get up the pitch, and they'll need Beto really. Since Beto's come on, he's not got hold of it yet. They're going to need Beto to do better and give them a bit of an outball.
The ball into the path of Buendia, might break for Morgan Rogers, but fabulous defending from Tarkowski to move the ball out towards the right-hand side, clear out towards Beto, who slips, but Everton have got possession back with Beto driving forward. Beto in a foot race with the substitute Hemmings. Beto's inside the penalty area. Did he handle it? No, I thought it might have come off George Hemmings' hand, but no. The referee signals that it came off Beto last. I thought that actually Hemmings got the last touch, but no, the referee's right, it did come off the Everton striker Beto, and it's a Villa corner, a Villa goal kick rather, and it's taken quickly and into the path of Martinez, who walks the ball 10 yards beyond his penalty area, moves it to the right to Konsa up towards the halfway line. Everton trying to shut down the passing lanes. Konsa turns away from Harrison Armstrong, gets it back from Morgan Rogers. Tielemans to the right-hand side. Ooh. Inside the penalty is Cash. Nice turn inside the box towards the edge of the penalty. Everton get it clear, but Villa come again. Might break for Cash, gets the cross into the far post, away there by Patterson, and out towards the touchline for Everton, upfield towards Beto, but it's won easily by Pau Torres. Works it forward. Villa can't ride the challenge that comes in. And Everton win it back with Merlin Roll up towards Beto. That's a foul there on Roll from Pau Torres. Everton have a free kick. And we're coming up towards the 89th minute mark. Everton about to make a substitution, are they? No, they're not. And I think there's a signal there from Tony Harrington towards Everton to tell them to get this free kick taken pretty quickly. 0800 731 9333. Ian Kennedy to take your calls. Your thoughts on Everton's performance the season so far, what they should do in the transfer market. Free kick about to be taken smack bang on halfway to the left of centre by Jake O'Brien. Out towards the right hand side, headed down there by Luca Digne. Dwight McNeil gives chase. Villa win it, but Everton win it back, and then Villa get it up towards halfway. And good play there by James Garner. Back to Tarkowski, back to Pickford. Sliced left-footed clearance out towards the touchline. Once again, it's out of play. 15 seconds of normal time remaining. The board is going to go up, and we're going to tell you shortly how much is going to be added on. Villa in possession. Everton trying to win it back as 4 minutes to add on. We move into 4 minutes of added time. Everton lead by a goal to nil. Pau Torres inside the centre circle. Short ball to Yuri Tielemans. That was foul on Jack Grealish, was it? Or was it just given a throw in? I think it would have been an Everton throw. I thought it was a foul on Grealish, but the restart is coming Everton's way. And it's a free kick, and Tony Harrington pointedly with his left arm up to where his watch is, and his right hand and a finger pointing straight to it to let Jordan Pickford know any time you waste is going to be added on. Everton with a free kick 10 yards up the pitch from the edge of their own penalty. Pickford left-footed forward ball towards Beto, acrobatically flicks it up, headed away by Pau Torres. Villa win the loose, but it might break forward. Dwight McNeil, who's fouled by Emi Buendia, pushed him in the back. And as soon as McNeil felt anything, Paddy Boylan, I think he was going to hit the deck there.
Yeah, slight contact, but Everton will take it, and another free kick in a decent position. Just wanted to give James Garner huge credit for his performance today. So impressed again with his work rate.
And the energy.
Yeah, he's just been everywhere, just snuffing out fires, getting on the ball, composed when he needs to be. We've just seen on our monitor Thomas Tuchel's here today. England are stacked with midfielders, but James Garner's really making his case too.
Everton free kick, midway inside the Villa half, chipped out towards the left-hand side by the aforementioned James Garner. Villa head it clear, now towards Morgan Rogers, through the legs of Garner, but Garner won it back cleverly, and he's fouled again by Morgan Rogers. And on the totting up process, I make that at least 5 from Morgan Rogers.
Yeah, I don't quite know what he needs to do to get booked, but he has. Yeah, that's 5 now from him. Most of them on Jack Grealish, it must be said. But James Garner did so well there to win the free kick.
Tony Harrington signals the same don't waste time signal to Everton. Mikalenko's 15 yards inside the Villa half, out towards the left touchline. Forward ball for Beto. Heads it down. Flag's gone up for offside against Beto. Free kick for Aston Villa. 92 minutes and 42 seconds and counting. Villa in possession. They move the free kick out towards Pau Torres. Left hand side for Luca Digne. Once of Everton, of course, finds Pau Torres. Square ball for Ezri Konsa. Konsa inside the Everton half now. Gets a push from Harrison Armstrong. Still maintains possession. Across is headed wide of the target. That was a cross shot from Yuri Tielemans, and diving in to get on the end of it, Emi Buendia, but it was off target. Now Pickford diving away to his right hand side. Yuri Tielemans very fired that in. Buendia was well positioned, diving away to his right hand side. Pickford made a good attempt to get on the end of it. We've got 25 seconds of the fall to run in this match. 0800 731 9333. Everton leading by a goal to nil. Total Sport Merseyside at Villa Park. Aston Villa have won the last 11 matches here on their home ground, but Everton lead going into the last knockings. Turned back by Pau Torres to Emi Martinez. Out to the right-hand side for Matty Cash. Matty Cash challenged by James Garner, and now Matty Cash, in fact it's Harrison Armstrong with the challenge, pushing the chest of Harrison Armstrong. Villa take a throw in. Now the 4 minutes are up. There goes the final whistle. This could be Everton's performance of the season. They've come to Villa Park to take on in-form Aston Villa with a squad riven by shortages because of injuries, suspensions and AFCON. And they've taken on the almost invincibles and beaten Aston Villa by a goal to nil. A performance of immense value. This could be a new start point for Everton for what remains of the campaign, because some of the big hitters are on the way back, but they've defended doggedly, determinedly, with diligence and fortitude. They created the best chances in the first half, even though Villa had more possession. They got the goal that counted in the second half. They hit the post inside 30 seconds, had a goal ruled out. There has been so much to like about Everton's performance today that I'm sure as Everton fans you'll want to make your points known to Ian Kennedy. 0800 731 9333, the number to ring. Our studios on BBC Radio Merseyside in Liverpool City Centre. The only goal of the game came in the second half. Poor defending from Villa. Presented possession to Dwight McNeil, 15 yards outside the penalty area. He cut in, left foot shot, palmed away to his right-hand side by Emi Martinez. Racing on, just fastening on to get on the end of it was Cherno Barry from a tightish angle, chipped it over the Villa goalkeeper, and looping towards the back of the net. Ezri Konsa acrobatically tried to clear, but it was a goal for Everton, who hit the post inside 11 seconds of this game and had a goal disallowed in the first half. So many good things about this performance, but the most important one is the fact that Everton have beaten Aston Villa by a goal to nil. Vitaly Mikolenko races away to the far side to give his share to an Everton fan. Paddy Boylan, the Everton correspondent from The Athletic, will be writing in raptures about this performance for a long, long time to come. Final score at Villa Park, Aston Villa 0, Everton 1.
That's an outstanding away win for Everton. They've got that great away record, as we spoke about at the start of the programme, and they've really showed up here today with all those players missing. We can see now the Everton players in front of a jubilant, packed out away end, soaking up that adulation, and they all deserve it. There was a real team performance, a real shift. James Garner outstanding, Jake O'Brien superb at the back, Jordan Pickford called upon when needed with some vital saves, and David Moyes is right over there now with fist bumping the away end as well. Great
James
to see.
Tarkowski, right fist aloft, just 1, 2, 3, 4, just raising it to salute the Everton fans who've come here in the thousands. This is a day to remember for Everton fans who haven't had so much to shout about recently, but once again in the games where Everton have been up against it prior to the match and you think they're going to struggle, away at Bournemouth, away at Manchester United, away here at Villa Park, away at Nottingham Forest, and in all of those games, in every single one of them, they've come up with the goods and got the result.
You have to say that says something about the character in this squad, the resilience and the ability to withstand so many setbacks now in terms of injuries and absentees. To come here with Villa having a real opportunity to close the gap at the top of the table and to put on this kind of performance, to collect this kind of result in the circumstances, it's a huge boost to David Moyes and his side. And they now go into the second half of the season with players about to come back, only 3 points off Europe.
Well, tell me this, Paddy, because you've seen every Everton game this season and you've seen lots of them over a long period of time. You saw the recent 3 matches at Goodison where they failed to meet the required standard. Where did this performance come from? And more crucially and importantly, how did David Moyes engineer it?
I think it's all built on solid defensive foundations. You look at the game against Brentford at home, and I think there was almost an expectation that Everton would take the game to Brentford, press from the front, and quite a lot of gaps appeared at the back. But David Moyes has almost been forced into some changes as a result of the suspensions to Michael Keane and Jack Grealish, who obviously came back in today. I think it suits Everton to have an out-and-out right-back in Nathan Patterson on that side. It also suits Everton to have Jake O'Brien in the middle. He was my man of the match today. It gives them more pace in a crucial part of the pitch, and they've really dug in and got a result playing on the counter-attack. I think Everton are better in those games at the moment, particularly without Ndiaye and Kiernan Dewsbury Hall.
As you say, Everton within 3 points of 5th place Manchester United, 4 points behind Liverpool in 4th place. It's really, really tight. Everton 32 points 10th, Sunderland 33 in 9th, Newcastle 33 in 8th, Brentford 33 in 7th, Chelsea, who won yesterday, are in 6th. They're on 34 points. But it means that there's a new positivity as we move into next week's home game with Leeds United a week tomorrow night at Hill Dickinson Stadium. Full commentary, of course, on BBC Radio Merseyside, Total Sport Merseyside, Everton versus Leeds United. And there was a sense of fear and trepidation prior to this game at Villa Park about what the Leeds United game might be like and what it may mean. Now, especially when you consider the players that Everton have coming back, it's a different story.
They just had to withstand this period of the season. I think we all knew that without Ndiaye and Idrissa Gueye and without the injured players, this was going to be really tough. But they have managed somehow to get through. This caps off the period after a really tough week last week, which I think, to be honest, was the worst week in Everton's season so far, going out of the FA Cup and losing at home in the manner they did to Brentford. They've turned it around here. There is the promise of players to come back, and I think that's a huge boost to Everton, that they go into the second half of the season with those key players to come. And they're still in it. There's still something to play for. They're out of the FA Cup and they're out of the League Cup. Huge disappointments, but there's still the opportunity here to do something this season in the second half of the campaign with the players back. Europe's within touching distance.
Our thanks to Paddy Boyland, Everton correspondent from The Athletic. You can read what Paddy has to say about it in The Athletic in the next day or so. Get your calls into Ian Kennedy though, 0800 731 9333, and let him know your thoughts on this magnificent Everton performance. Cherno Barry with the only goal of the game against Aston Villa, who could have gone second. They could have cut Arsenal's lead to 4 points at the top of the Premier League table. They'd won the last 11 at home, but the final score at Villa Park, tremendous day, fabulous performance from Everton. It's Aston Villa 0, Everton 1.
Total Sport.
Live Premier League football.
BBC Radio Merseyside.
And as Mike was saying, the phone lines are open. We're through until 7. 0800 731 9333. Great day for Everton in the Midlands.
Everton and England number 1, Jordan Pickford, launches it long downfield towards the edge of the Villa penalty area. Cherno Barry helps it on. Merlin rolled inside the penalty area. Shoots. Oh gosh. Well, didn't get hold of it in the way that he wanted, but that was a real opportunity for Merlin Roll. It just fell to him, deflected into his path off Cherno Barry. Edge of the penalty area, roll with the effort, and it came back off the post and into the arms of Emi Martinez. Everton almost a goal in front inside 30 seconds. Take the corner short, and in comes a cross, headed down. Oh, and Everton are in front. Oh, the flag's gone up for offside. Jake O'Brien with a powerful header at the far post, but immediately the Everton cheers from the away fans turn to jeers from the home fans. VAR are going to have a look at it, checking the goal disallowed. Everton worked the corner short, and when you work the corner short, it gives the opposition defenders the chance to move out. But as ever, this dreadful wait as VAR. We had one for 6 minutes. In fact, it is going to be disallowed. Back with Tielemans, 10 yards from the edge of the box. In comes the cross towards Gesson with a header. It hits the crossbar with Jordan Pickford bemused as to where it was going to end up. Villa with Maatsen, Tielemans, Maatsen, left edge of the penalty area. Crossing opportunity down towards the bar line. In comes the cross, blocked by McNeil. Villa have a corner, looping header from Gesson. It dropped down. Jordan Pickford just didn't know where it was going, and it hit the crossbar, and Everton had a fortunate escape. Long clearance from Pickford, headed away there by Pau Torres, came back fortuitously, but Everton have got it now. Dwight McNeil with the shot, might break here for Barry. Barry shoots. Goal. Oh, it's into the back of the net from Cherno Barry. It looked as though it might just creep over the line, but I think the final touch might have come from Ezri Konsa. Slack play from Villa. They gave the ball away on the edge of the penalty area. Everton worked it into Cherno Barry. His shot was blocked, but then just looped over the goalkeeper. And I think Ezri Konsa tried to clear it, and it ended up in the back of the net. Everton have got in front. Cherno Barry with the goal. He makes the Archer sign in front of the Villa fans away to our left-hand side, but the Everton fans right opposite us are absolutely jubilant. It's a goal for Cherno Barry, and it's Aston Villa 0, Everton 1. Villa got plenty of height at the far post. Work short instead, and back out for Maatsen. Different angle, in comes the cross, headed away. Villa still have it. Everton get it clear, but Villa come again. Driven shot! That's a fantastic save there from Jordan Pickford. As a shot came in from the edge of the penalty area from Morgan Rogers. He caught that one really well, and Pickford with the save to tip it over.
Call the football phone in 0800 731 9333.
BBC Radio Merseyside.
Ian Kennedy with you through until 7 o'clock, and then it's Doughton Adebayo, but a win for Everton by 1-0, up to 10th in the table, 32 points. That is 4 points off 4th place. Lines are open, and Bill's on the line in Heighton. Hiya, Bill.
Good evening. I regard myself as the, what's the name? One of the owners at Everton, and I've got nothing to moan about today. It was a really good performance. But I don't understand it, how we can play so badly against Tottenham and Newcastle and then come here and play the way we did. We played well in the second half against Liverpool, we played well against City, we played well against Arsenal, but we don't seem to be able to do it at Goodison Park against teams that are around us or below us.
Yeah, I mean, Hill Dickinson obviously now. But yeah, that's the 5th away win of the season in the league. Aston Villa, Manchester United, Bournemouth, Nottingham Forest, Wolves. And that is the frustration, I suppose. And particularly given, as I've just mentioned there, Everton are 4 points off 4th. There's a lot to play for here now in the second half of the season.
I know, up until, if you just said to me today, here's £10, put a bet on, I'd have had it down, £10 win on Newcastle and Aston Villa. There was no way I thought we was even going to get a point today because of the way Aston Villa's been playing. But today, it wasn't that they played badly. I thought we played well, and we stopped them from playing good football with the tactics that we had.
Yeah, I suppose the tone was set, in the first minute. Everton hit the post with Merlin Roll. They had the goal disallowed controversially, Jake O'Brien. So this wasn't one of those, sort of against the run of play kind of victories. I mean, you can say that Everton deserved it today, certainly.
Well, they did. And also, I had the television on with the sound off it, but when they did the woodwork, apparently that was the fastest in Premier League history that the woodwork's been hitting. Yes.
Well, I didn't know that, but
I don't know where they come up with these silly tactics. I mean, I think it was not Barry. One of the Everton players, he come first, and I think it was number 37. He come first for everything, most tackles, most passes, everything, and that's how well he played. As a
James, Garner, yeah.
Yeah, it was a really pleasing performance. But I don't know what's going to happen the week tomorrow night. I'll just have to take extra tablets, I think, before I go.
Well, you've had a good night anyway, or you will have a good night, Bill. And as you say, it's just trying to back these good results up away from home with some good ones at home. But maybe that's there for them, and whether they can sign anyone in the transfer window, get a few players back. Obviously, there will be players coming back from AFCON, of course, as well, which will boost the numbers.
Do we need them?
Well, I think it'd be good to have them. That's for sure.
Yeah, but you say don't disrupt the winning team. Because the players play well, they get a result, and then they get dropped the next week. It seems unfair, doesn't it? I mean, won't the lads coming back from the African Cup, won't they be getting a week or two off?
I don't know about that. I think they'll probably be straight back into it. Madrissa Garnegay and Illiman and Jai, and that Leeds game will be a big one, of course, at Hill Dickinson as well. But Bill, thanks for your call. Thanks for getting us underway. Great victory for Everton today away at Aston Villa by a goal to 0. Paul is on the line as well from Colchester, Paul. Is that right?
Ian.
Hiya. Hi, Paul.
Hi there. I've been criticising the team. Maybe I've been turning into Alexander O'Neill. All you want to do is criticise. That old song. But today, they were valiant. I think with Jake O'Brien at centre-half, he is very much a potential Everton captain of the future in the mould of Peter Farrell, Seamus Coleman. So, a big shout-out to him today. I think it also shows that playing square pegs into round holes never really works. I think Nathan Patterson had a decent game there today as well. So I'm encouraged. I do feel we need a centre forward though, Ian.
Well, that has been the big...
Barry did very well. I came on Monday and I said, well, it took Graham Sharp a long time to settle in at Everton, which we know it did. And look how well he did. Well, just maybe Shane O'Barry will turn out to be a player in the mould of Graham Sharp.
Well, if he gets anywhere near Graham Sharp, he'll have a great career. But, I mean, Tien O'Barry, that's 3 goals in his last 4 in the league now. So,
not a bad rate, is it?
Well, it's in terms of confidence, it's good for him, isn't it? Because, I mean, as any striker will tell you, you just want to see the ball hit the back of the net. And once you've seen it once or twice, you begin to feel as though you belong there. And maybe that's starting to come now for him.
Yeah. I mean, as I say, it was always going to take a bit of time to adjust from La Liga into the Premier League, where it's more frenetic and it's far more physical. But, as I say, I'm just pleased that I'm coming on today and I'm commending the performance because, I mean, there's a very famous picture at the Guards Regiment in London, in Westminster, where the Guards would not surrender the Queen's colours to the Russians during the Crimean War. Well, that's what that Everton defence was like today. They just would not surrender anything to Aston Villa. Now, Aston Villa are a very good side. They are justifiably in the title race. And for us to go to Villa Park, which is also a very difficult place to go, particularly when the Holt End are in full swing, as they were for parts of this game, for us to get that sort of result today speaks volumes for Everton Football Club. And then we have Idrissa and we've got Illiman and Jai to come back and, Dewsbury Hall. It is all looking good. But I do still feel that we need a centre forward that Barry can learn from, in the same way that Graham Sharp learned from Andy Gray, and so did Adrian Heath. That's what we need. Now, I wonder whether Callum Wilson, he's and I know he's not going to raise any pulses with Evertonians, but he could do a job for us, maybe for just 4 months or so, until we can assess the summer window and bring another target man in to play with Tierno Barry, or, you know, just to kind of bolster our squad, rather than going for knee-jerk reactions. Because this guy we've been linked with in Turkey, well, we've been down the Gentossen road and that didn't work. So I am very sceptical about any purchases of such a kind.
Paul, good call. Thanks very much indeed for ringing in on the phone, and good to talk to you. Have a good night. Thanks, Paul. Bye-bye. Cheers. Bye-bye. Now. Thanks. Just a couple of texts coming in. Brian says, as a Villa fan, I'm pleased for Everton for their win, who were by far the better side on the day. Our tippy-tappy possession football is so boring, says Brian, who's an Aston Villa fan. Well, they've had a great season, of course, which underlines what a good result it was for Everton today. And Fred from Wallasey, who's a Blue, Barry gets unfair flack from our fans. 3 very composed finishes, 4 goals in 8 matches. He's still developing, and we've got Ndiaye and Dewsbury Hall to come back and hopefully give him more service. That's from Fred in Wallasey. We've got Sean next on the line. Hi, Sean.
Hello, Ian. You okay?
Yeah, good, thanks. What did you make of that today?
I thought we played well. I was thinking about your first caller's comments on how we perform better when we're away than we are at home. And I think the reason for that is that when we're at home, we're expected to attack, entertain. You know, we're at fantastic stadium and we've got to produce. And we don't play to our strengths. And our strengths, I think, are counter-attacking football. So we'll sit back, and Garner had a tremendous game today, sat at the bottom of midfield, controlled everything, protected the back four. And when they got beyond him, the 2 centre-halves were amazing as always. And Jordan at the back was brilliant. So I think for us, sometimes I think if we play that way at home, we can beat teams like Villa, we can beat the top 4, but it's about the pressure at playing at home.
Yeah.
And the crowd being on top of him and saying, oh, we've got to attack. Well, let's play to our strengths. We're not going to dominate the top 4, pass through them, but we can hit them on the counter-attack with that, that sort of trio of the guys who are going to come back.
It's a difficult thing, I suppose, to do, Sean, isn't it, at home? Because psychologically, the onus is always on the home team to set the tone and, and be attacking. And I suppose it's difficult to play it a different way at home when the expectation is different.
Well, I agree, and that's a mindset, isn't it? And if you're the manager, if back in the day when City were flyers, we didn't go out and go toe-to-toe with City at home. We'd sit back, and then it would hit them. I think when he first came, when Guardiola first came, we beat them at home, and we hit them on the counter-attack, and I think we beat them 4-1. So sometimes you've sort of got to play to your strengths and not worry too much about how we're deemed to be playing at home and why aren't we attacking all the time? And maybe I'm an avid Evertonian who's like, let's just get off their case a little bit. Let's play to our strengths.
What are your expectations now? We're in sort of mid-January now, a bit later actually, and we're in that second half of the season mode. What can Everton do in the league? I mean, 4 points off 4th. It's a bit congested there, of course, isn't it? But there's something on there to play for.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, but there's a lot of teams who are in the same boat as us. So I think there must be like 8 teams within 4 points, maybe. So everybody's having a real good crack at it this year. There's only Arsenal who are the outstanding team. So I don't think there's anybody there who above sort of around Arsenal. Arsenal, I know they're sort of perennial sort of, bottlers, but I think it's this year for them. If it's not this year, it never will be, and it's their chance to take it. Everybody else is much of a much. City are going through a transitional period. Liverpool have lost their way a little bit. They're going through a bit of a transition. So it's quite a competitive league this year.
It's good though, isn't it? It's good though, Sean, isn't it? When you consider where Everton have been over the last 3 or 4 years, every season has been a worry about, the relegation zone and everything that's gone on. And now we're talking about, can they get in the top 4? It's...
Yeah, I think that's a bit of an ask. The top 4. I think we can get in. We've got as good a chance as the rest of them in the middle pack getting into Europe. The top 4, I can't see us getting in there. I mean, I've got a bet with the lads I play football with that I think we might get above Liverpool this year. I've took 2 lads who put 10 quid on each for us, but that's a bit of a bravado. But I think, we've got a good chance to get in Europe, and that'd be another building block for next season. But you've got to be a little bit careful there. Europe, and look at some of the teams who've got into Europe.
And is the squad big enough? Yeah.
Exactly. So, but I think we're really building now. Great stadium, got a good business model behind us. We're a little bit more professional in that viewpoint. And so, it's looking good for us. And I think if we can take the away performances and sometimes use that at home, not all the time. I understand that people want to see entertaining, go forward. But let's get the points and let's go forward with momentum.
Okay, Sean, good call. Thanks for ringing the Total Sport phone in on this Sunday evening. Thanks, Sean. Before we go to our next call, we'll get to John very shortly, but we can hear now from the man who scored the winning goal, Tieno Barry.
Martin Fisher match today with Tieno Barry of Everton. Tieno, congratulations on the goal and congratulations on the win. A very good afternoon for all of you, Everton-wise.
Thank you. I'm very happy. Today I score again and we win, so all is perfect today, and it's a good week to rest.
You must feel as though you're on something of a roll at the moment. That's 3 goals in your last 4 games in the Premier League.
It's my job. I need to score, so I didn't score a lot, but I tried to score, and today I have just 1 chance and I put in, so I'm happy.
It was quite a special finish, and a goal really that came out of nothing. An error at the back for Villa, and then Dwight's had the shot, and you just pounces for that mistake by the keeper.
I think I don't think too much. I see the ball, and I see Martinez to come fast, and I say, okay, I try, and I put in, so I'm happy for this.
The celebration was interesting, not least because it was in front of the Villa fans rather than the Everton fans. Had you forgotten where the Everton fans were?
No, I don't know. I do this, but I don't know why. And I just go in the wrong side, I think. But it's okay.
And how much are you enjoying life with Everton right now?
Good. When you score, it's always good. So I try to continue like this because it's not finished. And I hope to score a lot of goals again.
And this victory in particular must give you great confidence, given how well Aston Villa are playing, particularly at home at the minute.
Yeah, because we do 1 week, I think we don't win. So when we come today, we know what we need to do. We play with heart, so I think that's why we win today.
Tieno Barry, the match winner today for Everton at Villa Park. Final caller tonight, we've got John, who I think's been in the game. Hi, John, did you enjoy it?
Absolutely brilliant. Went with me missus as well. So I thought, you can single players out. I thought James Garner obviously was brilliant as he normally is. Tieno Barry's finish was superb. But what a great performance. I think players like Dwight McNeil have come back into the reckoning. He's put in a real shift today, I thought. Things didn't happen for him, but he's worked hard. Every player, even Jordan at the end, Jordan struck again, didn't he? What a save that was. Absolutely top draw. And, I spoke with Salty and with Kathy in the week, and they're saying about, do we want to be in Europe? Is it a good idea for us to be in? Of course it is. We need to go forward. We don't want to stay stagnant and start we're happy with 12th or 13th. Let's get into Europe. I know our team's going to be stretched, but just think of the players we've got to come back as well. We've got 4 or 5 top quality players to come back. We can add 1 or 2 to it. We have got a squad. The problem is we've got players away at the AFCON. We've got injuries. We need to get all this sorted out. I'm sick of hearing about hamstring injuries. But today, I know we don't play 1 to 11 anymore, but every single player took responsibility, fought for the ball, wanted it, and put on a display that was outstanding. Villa haven't lost at home this season, and they've gone on. They've lost one game in 14 or something. I mean, to go there, I wasn't expecting it today. I would have taken your arm off, if you'd have offered me a draw before the game kicked off. So absolutely delighted, and what a fantastic performance. And let's build on it, and hopefully we can get something, against Leeds and challenge. I don't think we'll finish in the top 4, but the top 8 and get into Europe is definitely a possibility, and it's something we should go for, I think.
And you mentioned Jordan Pickford, who was great again. You sometimes take him for granted, really. But some of the other players, McNeil, you mentioned, Patterson, Merlin Roll, these are players who are not playing that often, but played their part today.
Yeah, Merlin Roll was brilliant today as well. I said it's wrong to single out one or two players. You know what I mean? Because they've done so well. Every single player. I mean, Patterson's coming to the team. We're talking. We need a right back. Why? I think Patterson was he's played against two really tricky wingers in the last couple of games. You know what I mean? I think he's done brilliantly well, considering he's just come back into the team after, an absence, if we'll say. I know he's been injured some of the time and he's not been in favour, so we've got a lot to build on there, and I think we've got some fantastic foundations, and we should go. I think there's no reason why we shouldn't be challenging for Europe with the team that we've got, because we've got players coming back from injury, players coming back from AFCON. I think we've got a fantastic chance, and we attract better players as well. And also there's the financial side of it. So, there's a lot of positives at the moment. Last week we've just got it's no good going back and looking back at things. Don't look back in football, look forward. And that's what we should be doing, looking forward and building to the future.
Just briefly, John.
Europe would be brilliant.
Yeah, just briefly, it's about backing this up now, isn't it? Consistency is the key.
Yeah, exactly. That's what it is. At home, I was at the game, and Villa, prior to the game, they were giving it big licks and everything, Aston Villa. And I thought, this is what we should be doing at Goodison. We should make Goodison a fortress. The fans need to get behind that team and make it like Goodison was, that teams don't want to come there. It's a little bit quiet sometimes. That's my only criticism of the Hill Dickinson. Fantastic stadium. Let's make it a fortress there. Put it together with our away form that we've been doing, you know what I mean? And hopefully we'll arrive in Europe. So,
Yeah, John, thanks for your call. Have a good trip home. You've obviously enjoyed it at Villa Park today, and thanks for getting in touch with Total Sport. That's John, who's been to the game at Villa Park today, and what a day it was for Everton, winning by 1-0. Tien O'Barry with the winning goal. Everton hit the post in the opening minute, had a goal disallowed from Jake O'Brien as well. It was, in the end, didn't turn into the biggest talking point because Everton got the victory anyway. Everton up to 10th, 32 points, which, as I say, is 4 points off 4th as things stand. Elsewhere today in the Premier League, no goals at Molineux. It finished Wolves 0, Newcastle United 0. In the Women's FA Cup, a win for Liverpool women away at London Bees. They won emphatically, actually, by 6-0. Defeat, though, for the Widnes Vikings in Rugby League's Championship. They went down in their opening game away at London Broncos by 44 points to 12. Thanks to Chris Coughlin for production. Stay tuned for Doughton on the way after the news, and Total Sport tomorrow with Salty. The lines will be open once again, and more reaction with Kevin Duala in Breakfast in the Morning. We'll leave you with the highlights from me, Ian Kennedy. A very good night.
Everton and England number 1 Jordan Pickford launches it long downfield towards the edge of the Villa penalty area. Tien O'Barry helps it on. Merlin Roll inside the penalty. Shoots. Oh gosh. Well, didn't get hold of it in the way that he wanted, but that was a real opportunity for Merlin Roll. It just fell to him, deflected into his path off Tien O'Barry, edge of the penalty area, Roll with the effort, and it came back off the post and into the arms of Emi Martinez. Everton almost a goal in front inside 30 seconds. Take the corner short, and in comes a cross, headed down. Oh, and Everton are in front. Oh, the flag's gone up for offside. Jake O'Brien with a powerful header at the far post, but immediately the Everton cheers from the away fans turned to jeers from the home fans. VAR are going to have a look at it, checking the goal disallowed. Everton worked the corner short, and when you work the corner short, it gives the opposition defenders the chance to move out. But as ever, this dreadful wait as VAR. We had one for 6 minutes. In fact, it's going to be disallowed. Back with Tielemans, 10 yards from the edge of the box. In comes the cross towards Gesson with a header. It hits the crossbar with Jordan Pickford bemused as to where it was going to end up. Villa with Maatsen, Tielemans, Maatsen, left edge of the penalty area. Crossing opportunity down towards the bar line. In comes the cross, blocked by McNeil. Villa have a corner, looping header from Gesson. It dropped down. Jordan Pickford just didn't know where it was going, and it hit the crossbar, and Everton had a fortunate escape. Long clearance from Pickford, headed away there by Pau Torres, came back fortuitously, but Everton have got it now. Dwight McNeil with the shot, might break here for Barry. Barry shoots. Goal. Oh, it's into the back of the net from Cherno Barry. It looked as though it might just creep over the line, but I think the final touch might have come from Ezri Konsa. Slack play from Villa. They gave the ball away on the edge of the penalty area. Everton worked it into Cherno Barry. His shot was blocked, but then just looped over the goalkeeper. And I think Ezri Konsa tried to clear it, and it ended up in the back of the net. Everton have gone in front. Cherno Barry with the goal. He makes the Archer sign in front of the Villa fans away to our left-hand side. But the Everton fans right opposite us are absolutely jubilant. It's a goal for Cherno Barry, and it's Aston Villa 0, Everton 1.
Total Sport on the
BBC Radio Merseyside.
Play BBC Radio Merseyside and on your radio.
The sound of Merseyside is
BBC Radio Merseyside.
Doughton Adebayo on the way after the news on BBC Merseyside.
BBC News at 7 o'clock. This is Matthew Carter. The UK and 7 other countries which have been threatened with tariffs for opposing US efforts to take over Greenland say the plan risks a dangerous downward spiral. President Trump says the import taxes will remain in place until a deal is reached to purchase the Danish territory, which he claims the US needs for security reasons. Espen Barth Eide is the Foreign Minister of Norway, one of the countries threatened with tariffs. He says he hopes to continue constructive conversations with Mr. Trump.
On the one hand, we stand with the Kingdom of Denmark in defense of its sovereignty, but we're also ready to do more together with America and with all our allies in the Arctic, and that's exactly why we are stepping up our presence in Greenland, because if there are security concerns, we can meet them jointly, both bilaterally, Denmark and the US, but also as a NATO alliance. So that's a dual message that we're sending to our friends in the United States of America.
The BBC has been told that the government has pulled its amendment to the proposed Hillsborough Law, which aims to prevent cover-ups. The legislation would legally require public officials to tell the truth at inquiries, but some campaigners had raised concerns that the security services could be exempt. A man has been arrested on suspicion of murder after a woman in her 40s died in a street in Norwich last night. Police believe she knew the suspect, who's in his 60s. The BBC has urged the makers of The Apprentice to carry out stricter background checks on contestants after a man due to appear in the forthcoming series was found to have made offensive posts online. The production company behind the show, Naked, said social media checks had failed to flag the comments. More details from Guy Lambert.
Levi Hodgetts-Haig's posts are alleged by The Sun on Sunday to include racist remarks towards Muslims and sexist comments about women. The BBC said the messages were abhorrent and totally unacceptable. It's called on the makers of The Apprentice to carry out stricter background checks on its contestants. In a statement issued to The Sun, Mr Hodgetts-Haig apologised for his actions, saying he was ashamed by the posts he made over a decade ago. BBC News hasn't seen the posts, as they have subsequently been deleted.
South East Water has acknowledged that restoring supplies to around 4,500 properties in Kent is proving to be quite complex. The firm has blamed an electrical fault at a treatment works near Maidstone. Football and Aston Villa have failed to close the gap on Premier League leaders Arsenal after losing 1-0 to Everton. Elsewhere, Newcastle missed the chance to climb into the top 5. They were held to a goalless draw at Wolves. The Magpies boss, Eddie Howe, gave his reaction after the match.
A lot of endeavour, a lot of effort. I thought controlled the game. Pleased with that aspect of our play. I thought we were good on the ball, but we weren't good enough in the final third, and we didn't create enough for all the possession that we had. So we're disappointed with that aspect. And the chances that we did get, we weren't clinical enough because there were some openings there too.
And this evening's weather, cloudy with patchy rain across much of England, eastern Wales and Northern Ireland overnight. Mainly dry elsewhere. That is the BBC News. It's now 3 minutes past 7.
The sound.
The sound of Liverpool. And all the music you love. BBC Radio Merseyside.
Yeah, we're bigging up the NHS this evening on Dotton. On Sunday, we take you through some of the great BBC local radio programmes that you may have missed from your community. Well, we are anticipating a real magnifying glass on your community health-wise this Thursday when BBC Local Radio bigs up the NHS. Let's start this evening, though. Let's start this evening with you bigging up the NHS for us. Yeah. What